Tep-Tep's an okay name for an iguana. I knew a guy with an iguana one time.
What do you name it?
I don't remember.
Don.
Don the iguana.
I get it.
That was a clothing brand back in the day.
Show's over. Iguana Don.
Iguana Don, you remember that?
No. I remember little Puma.
Puma's not,
little
remember,
one
it's
that
still
you-
out.
Is it?
Puma?
The little one that you have a little tiger right there?
Yeah,
Little
there's
Puma.
a little gator.
Tiger-looking thing.
Like a puma?
Nobody would know it's a Puma.
Like,
Definitely
a jungle
tiger.
cat.
It is a jungle cat.
Because there was one that had an actual tiger, but it was like a colorful one, not the side profile of a jumping cat. That you're thinking
it was
of
a tiger,
puma.
like a...
It was an actual tiger. You know, like how Lacoste has the alligator?
Tiger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm
Most
just saying the
people wear
gator. I don't
Lacoste,
remember
yeah.
that it's a Lacoste. I remember
Lacoste?
the gator.
Is that what the alligator is?
Yeah, it's Lacoste. So
Lacoste.
they had one that was a tiger that had that same thing in the corner. I don't know who it is though.
I had one Puma shirt one time. And I felt all fancy because I had seen so many people with animals on their little, where, your lapel might be, I suppose. Just a little,
I just didn't.
I had it and I felt,
You felt like you were part of the in crowd.
I never wore it. I was like 6.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
like a
just-
6-year-old Justin wears.
I didn't understand that trend.
Remember gecko clothing?
Yeah.
I remember Mark Echo getting up.
Mark Gecko.
I like that game, actually.
It comes...
That game was... You know why I like that game? Because
What
it was
game?
Mark Echo's Getting Up.
Oh,
It was
I
like...
didn't know that was a game.
It was a game about tagging.
It's also a sentence.
Yeah, he's getting up.
Mark Echo's getting up. You want to watch?
You want to watch?
You want to play this?
Got open forum.
I'm a little sad about no listener mail. We'll get into that.
Do we have listener mail?
No, I'm a little sad about no listener. We've
I thought
come
you said
from
you're
that.
excited.
No, I'm
When did we get listener mail? Oh my gosh.
They don't like
sad
those
about no
nonsense.
listener mail.
We should start making up listener mail.
So this fucking Arkansas bullshit.
This is from Mark Gecko.
He wants to get down.
The title is Getting
with
Up.
us.
Getting up.
It's getting up. Hey, MultiTap, do you remember my game?
We
Yes.
Do we ever?
We're the only ones. That's why I'm writing into you. Wanted to know
He said
if you
in
would-
response to your response.
And I-
You know, we can have a discussion
Surprise.
off cast or whatever, but
We
like,
should.
I'd love to figure out how to like Dark Souls.
Well, it's a lot of like respawning, so it's like, oh, well, let's figure out what I did wrong there because somebody stabbed me from a corner, and then you come back and you check the corner, you'd be like, yay! So it's just dying over and over, and a lot of rerunning back to your corpse to sense the new pattern. To be like, oh, there's a guy behind here, and I know that now.
So it's just one of those pattern games.
Essentially, it's just
Survive.
more complex than that. Like,
Yeah.
there's a combat system,
But really,
but it's about
that's what it
knowing where
is.
things are. Yes, it's
Yeah.
at its bones.
See, and I like
Meh.
that. Okay,
At its
but I-
999 bones.
I like that in concept because games like Mega Man is kind of like that. I mean, just you
Essentially.
memorize a lot because that's how people speedrun it. I mean, you just memorize
Yeah.
what shit is, and then you can just run through it with your eyes closed.
But then,
But,
to
like,
what
I'm
degree
getting
are
at-
all video games muscle memory?
Maybe, yeah,
Like Donkey
yeah.
Kong and any
Well,
side scroller.
No,
What I'm
I'm
getting
getting
at is-
Call of Duty.
Dark Souls, I feel like it's just punishing you, and then you learn through attrition to not do that again, or memorization. It's not like you can see it and then react. Sometimes it is maybe, but your character is not mobile enough or doesn't have the tools to fucking pull like a
Ninja Gaiden
a
around.
ninja, a dodge and then counterattack. I mean, maybe I'm not playing it right, but it just seems like you just fucking die, and then you have to remember. And there's a dude behind this corner. I think because I just think I would like. I think I'd like Dark Souls because Dark Souls 1 I hated until like you and Brian kind of showed me the ropes a little bit, and then I kind of liked it. I got pretty far. I beat the Gaping Dragon. I got to Blighttown and I got fucking killed him.
Dragon
Yeah.
sounds awful.
It-
Sounds like something you have to pay extra for.
It's
in,
a proper
in
name.
Little
That
Italy
thing
or-
is gaping.
Little Chinatown.
It is a gaping
It's been
dragon.
around the block a few times.
You want the gaping dragon? That's going to cost you 80 bones.
I liked it. I didn't beat Blighttown, but
And
Dark
now
Souls 2.
And now we have an intro.
like 2 hours. Can't beat it.
Brilliant.
The Gaping Dragon.
Hello, and welcome all to MultiTap Theatre. The following is an entertainment show with special focus on the modern and retro gaming eras. Explicit language and content is utilized for emphasis and flourish, so please monitor children's listening. Yes, Listener discretion is most gravely advised. The hosts welcome all audiences and encourage audience participation in most forms. Any visual or oral resemblance to any person living, famous, or deceased is strictly intentional. And now, for your listening pleasure, MultiTap Theatre podcast.
I think I want my money back.
If anybody's hot or thirsty, let me know. Or bothered.
Or sad.
I'll take care of you.
Talking
Okay.
about feelings.
Wink.
Give me a little bit of vitamin
Wink is
C.
implied and literal.
C for Chris.
Vitamin C for chode or
Vitamin D
cock.
for the D.
I like that you thought of chode before cock.
Cock was too. Everybody goes for cock.
Everybody
Chode.
goes for cock.
Chode is the.
You got to go for another C. What's another good C one? You know, I don't know. Chode was the first one that came up.
I was thinking of other
Coccyx.
vulgarities, so...
Cocks. Go for the coccyx.
Mm.
Like,
Here.
yeah, I know what a coccyx
Your
is.
tailbone.
I'm saying, like, how do you go for it?
You just grab
You
a
just
hold.
Just go, man.
Have at it.
Just go, baby.
Let's go, baby.
Got that coccyx in your hand, you just go. baby.
You just go, baby. Grab that coccyx in your hand, you got a stew going. Welcome this evening, everyone, to MultiTap Podcast.
could be
This is
listening.
episode 8. Good morning to all of you early birds out there, and welcome to MultiTap Podcast, episode 8. My name is Justin. Some call me Piper. Some people use the whole name. Rarely, though.
Piper Justin.
Yes, not even my mom actually uses my whole name.
I like juice.
Yeah.
She calls me neither one of those. Some people call me Juice. Enough about my nicknames. I'm going right this time because I'm feeling weird. Your name, sir?
Chris,
I have a question for you, Chris.
I have an answer, hopefully.
Final Fantasy
Uh-huh.
or Tales?
Oh, well.
The Tales games.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah?
But I love Tales. I love Tales.
It's hard to call.
Well, Final Fantasy is near and dear to my heart, and overall, I'd give Final Fantasy the best RPG series, I think. Period. But Tales is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tales is great. I randomly found a Tales of store in Japan. I told you about that, right?
Yes.
that was fucking awesome.
I want to go.
Yeah,
You should.
Tales of Shop is what it's called.
That's pretty good. It's because they Tales of everything.
Yeah.
You know? They've licensed or they've pulled copyrights on like 20 different Tales of names.
I would pick Tales over certain Final Fantasies,
Right.
but overall, got to give it to Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Okay. Your name, madam.
Irene.
Final Fantasy or Tales. The Tales games.
I think your question's interesting because I thought you would have gone with Final Fantasy or Dragon
Quest? Yeah.
Warrior, whatever. But no, that's cool. That's cool.
Because I think I would like. I did it what made sense for me, and which I would have a harder time answering. Dragon
enough.
Quest is cool though.
Yeah. Final Fantasy for me
Yeah.
because I don't know that I've played a Tales game before. I might have.
Never.
I don't remember a lot of games that I play because I have a bad memory.
They all start with Tales, correct? So Tales.
Yeah.
All of them. There
I
hasn't
just-
been one.
Okay.
Fantasia,
Oh, you're right. Even the PSP one, it wasn't oddly titled. Okay. So
Tales of the World.
They're
yeah.
multiplayer, right?
No.
No.
No, they're single player.
Just
Some
RPG.
of them, some of them have multiplayer aspects, but it's all optional. It's just like a second player can control another character in battle, kind of like in 6,
Yeah.
Final
Okay.
Fantasy 6. But like they're all single player RPGs.
They're
I keep
action
getting
RPGs.
the Tales series confused with the Mana series,
The Mana series.
or the
Yeah.
like Legend of Mana and
And Heroes
what's
of
the game
Mana
that has
and-
pizza guys that you can fight, like they're pizza heads?
There
Pizza?
was a
Pizza
Pizza Head
Heads,
guy
yes.
in Enchanted Arms, but
Maybe that's what I'm. No.
that's for
No,
Xbox.
that's an Xbox 360
No,
game.
no.
It was like one of the first
Okay.
ones.
There was like a
it was
pizza guy,
bad.
and it
So-
said in his bio he loved burning naughty children.
I don't
was like, okay.
The only thing I remember that's like culinary at all is the World Chef, or
You
what's
might be
his name, the
thinking of-
Hidden Chef on the Tales games
an
that you can
RPG.
Are you thinking of
find.
Star Ocean?
No,
Star
it's
Ocean's
not
usually
Star
compared to
Ocean.
Tales.
I feel like it might be Enchanted. It's one of the enemies is
Okay.
a pizza thing.
It's pretty early in.
The
Like,
thing that I
the head
loved
is
about
pizza.
Tales originally was that the little, like when you go into battle, it's an action RPG that I liked for the first time. I was turn-based only, and then anything that was Star Ocean just turned me off. But this one had a little 2D thing set up to where your characters were on one side, the enemies were on another side, or they flanked you, and then all you had to do was either press, like, give it a command, like, up, and then you would, and your button, and it would do an up attack or, like, a side attack. It was cool. I like the battle system.
Combat
much.
in Tales has always been its
So solid.
its highlight.
Story was okay, too.
Swords are great too. I like characters are great. I just mean like the combat's what set it apart.
Yeah.
It was actually the first Super Nintendo game, or at least not maybe not the first, but it used the most voice. The Super Nintendo Tales of Fantasia had a hell of voice.
Surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Halo.
My name's Aaron. You didn't poke at me, but y'all pretty much said everything I was going to say about how Tales had way better combat.
Right.
And it was incredibly fun, and I did not usually dread, like, another random encounter. I'm trying to get to this dang town. I'd be like, heck yeah, hit that harpy and then jump down and throw this crap over here.
You
Yeah.
would grind for pleasure.
But I would still say Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Just as a narrative and a characters.
Yeah.
Better overall package. You're getting a full package in Final Fantasy. You know,
Yeah. Whose package?
the D.
Cloud's package. Cloud's
D's
D.
package.
Nah.
Vampire Hunter D's
I
package.
don't want Cloud's package. If we're taking anybody's package,
Seffi?
Selfie.
Seffi? Selfie's package.
That's just what you said.
Selfie's choice.
Selfie's package.
Selfie's package.
Yeah. There you go.
Who would have the biggest package?
Arin,
Really?
Kimari.
Probably. He's got it hiding under. Yes, definitely Kimura. If anybody.
Yep.
I was
Barrett.
saying,
It's
yeah.
probably
Probably. Yeah.
Yep. Barrett. There you go.
Not Zaz or whatever from
Saz?
Saz.
No.
No.
Sabin.
Barrett.
Barrett over that. He's
Yep.
giant gun arm and
Yeah.
giant gun dick.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Angamax. Just like,
There you go. Catastrophe.
I got a Gatling on my arm and a 22 down below. That's not very big, Barrett. It's bigger than yours.
you ever heard of the Barrett 50 cal?
Because he
Oh, I
is
don't know.
surly.
What about Wendy? What the hell's his name?
Umaru.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wendigo.
Umaru would
Tomorrow. Yeah.
probably be well endowed.
Probably.
There you go.
No.
I don't know.
It's like, no.
Yes. Let's have a conversation about who has the biggest dick in Final
Yeah.
Fantasy.
Like, surprisingly, Yuffie.
Yeah, Yuffie. There you go.
Yep. Yep. I believe it.
No, like,
She has really tight shorts
Really
on
tight
for a
shorts
huge
to have
D.
a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would
Tuck.
see it. You'd
I
see it.
suppose,
Just tuck some
but then
big
you'd
shit
see
piece
like a
of-
mushroom coming out the back end. Like
Maybe
if
one
if
of
it
her
was that
legs is
big.
actually her penis.
She's a ninja.
She's a one-legged ninja.
She's hiding it.
Goodness.
skills.
Skills.
Her other, like, if that's true, then her dick is so well proportioned to look like a leg.
Ancient Wu Tai secret.
Her dick
There
has
you
a
go.
knee. It's
It
amazing.
does. Yeah.
Damn, dick knee.
Right.
Anyways,
If
yeah.
it's that long, it'd have to have a knee.
I already introduced myself, so I'm going to rely on everybody else's memory. And I don't know what to do. I hadn't decided before I posed the question. I want to say Final Fantasy. But I respect the Tales games so damn much. Like, I think I like more Tales games than I do Final Fantasies. I like more of the Tales games. But some of the Final Fantasies have just been so definitive and better than any Tales I've played.
It's tough to find an RPG franchise that has more memorable scenes and characters than Final Fantasy as a franchise as a whole.
It is.
You know, I mean, there's so many impactful scenes in Final Fantasy. There's good stuff in Tales too. I mean, I fucking love the characters in Tales of Destiny, especially. But
Yeah.
I can't name a series that has more memorable shit than Final Fantasy.
Destiny 2 for me, or what was it, Fantasia? Eternia. That was my favorite Tales. And
That's
then
a
I
good
think
one.
Abyss after that and Vesperia.
Yes, Abyss was great too.
Abyss was really
I think I only played like 2 Tales games. That might
Tell
skew
you-
me a bit.
Eternia
Super
here
Nintendo
was,
one and one for the PS1.
There's two of them on the PS1, but here they were both called Tales of Destiny. Tales of Destiny 1 and 2.
Mhm.
Tales of Destiny 2 is actually Tales of Eternia. And there's an actual Tales of Destiny 2, which is sick, which has some of the best, like, 2D animation on PS2, I think. But,
2D.
yeah,
Yeah.
2D.
2D. 2D in the Blowfish.
The best 2D animation.
Anyways, I'll go Final Fantasy. I put the Tales up on the chopping block, and and
We all chopped it
put
down.
it in its
Chopped it
place.
down.
Yes,
We tested our might and broke like Ruby or whatever the fuck they start breaking later. I don't know.
if not just for 7 and for 6.
How about 9? Did you play through 9?
Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dude, because 9.
I love 9.
And 12?
Dude.
Do you like 12? Dude.
dude. Final Fantasy
Dude.
9.
How Final Fantasy 9, though?
Damn Final Fantasy 9 though. That Liam Neeson's. Wait, what else? 9 and what?
12.
I like 12.
12 makes my...
We were talking about that. That was the
Body
Evilist
tingles.
Alliance.
We did. Yeah.
12 is great.
one of
It's
your
not
top
my
3 Final
favorite,
Fantasies,
but it's good.
is that what you said?
It is one of my top 3 Final Fantasies. That's like 3.
That makes sense.
It does.
12, yeah. I
12
want
is-
12 to be on... I wish they would make 12 for Vita. I'd shit my pants. Straight up.
So
Drop one right
8's your favorite, and
6 is
then-
my favorite.
6 is your favorite.
Yeah.
8's your
Trivia notwithstanding, 6 is my favorite. Because it seems like I've never played that game. The
Right.
fucking answers I gave. But,
You just need to play it again.
yeah, it's been like 15 years since I played
Ice Taco. Yeah, it's gotta be Ice Taco. Now we've screwed me up as a podcast. The next time I play that, I'm gonna look for an Ice Taco.
You
It
should.
won't exist.
Shiva's got a nice taco somewhere.
Yeah.
She's got a nice taco. I know exactly what
A nice taco?
I'll tell you what.
No, you idiot. Yes, a nice taco. A very nice.
Very nice.
Well, this is good that took a little bit of time because we have no listener mail this week, sadly, except for
Boo.
Mark Gecko.
Oh, that's right.
But I'm going to read that next week.
Mark Gecko.
Mark Gecko, who wanted to know about his game.
And what's the name of his game?
His game was like Get It Up or something. I can't
Get
remember
It
what
Up.
it is.
Boner Time.
Boner Town with Mark Gecko.
Mark Gecko's Boner Town.
We should
It
have
came out roughly the same time as Ape Escape.
We can have a section that's forgotten gems every week.
Mark Gecko's
Mark
Boner Town.
Gecko's getting a boner.
What was it called? Getting Up?
Getting up.
Getting
Yeah.
Up. Getting Up.
Getting
G-I-T-T-I-N
getting
apostrophe.
apostrophe. Yeah.
Getting
Ain't no
Up.
G in getting.
Getting up.
Is that the first one?
Right.
It's eating up.
You're just getting up and over here.
In up.
I don't know if I'd even call that
Yeah,
game a
what did that
forgotten
come-
gem. It just came up in a
It's a
conversation.
forgotten
Just
game.
It's a forgotten
Forgotten.
game. There you go.
Forgotten
A lot of games are forgotten.
thing that was named
We'll call it,
Keep it
what is the
forgotten.
deal?
by
with
the
this?
collective.
Speaking of things that may have been forgotten,
We have sadly neglected trivia for
2 weeks. Yeah, two
like
podcasts,
running, two
yeah.
podcasts running, which is pretty sad
say we
because we had a
forgot it.
good chunk of like 3 or 4 episodes where it was just solid,
It
and
needs
then
to
nothing.
be on every episode.
Well, it's
I feel
back
like.
now.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes its triumphant return this episode.
We had a couple wonky episodes though.
We
So
had guests. We had guests, and we didn't have trivia.
Well,
but they were
we
good
did
still.
trivia on the one of the guest ones.
Oh, that's true.
Fight Club
Because-
rules.
Like the
Yeah,
rules.
that's true. Because Ryan was supposed to do a voice, like a walk-in voice, and he didn't do it.
He did.
No,
No,
supposed to
no,
do
it was
Nicolas
Nicolas Cage.
Oh man!
You wouldn't even try. Come on, Ryan, try.
Come on!
Come on,
Come on!
come on.
That is one I would not do.
Ghost Rider trying to tell him to come on.
I could eat a peach for
for
hours.
Oh, my head's on fire. Eat a peach for hours.
That's the best Nicolas Cage quote.
It's
Just
gotta
the
be.
idea of spending multiple hours with one peach. Like, is he just kind of licking on it?
He just
It's all
Like,
like
it's a
brown,
metaphor.
just mushy. And
It's a metaphor.
He has
for-
dentures and he left them at home, so he's
Poontang.
gumming on.
You don't
them.
say.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Just letting you know.
Well, heck,
That's
this
dirty.
whole time I thought he had trouble digesting.
If I had known that, I wouldn't have watched the film.
Yeah, I would have stopped right there.
This conflicts with your moral values now.
Yes.
You can no longer watch a movie where guys take their faces off and shoot at each other because they've referenced pussy.
Right.
All right.
That whole
Well,
film
wow.
now seems very symbolic.
This is America. Violence is A-okay.
Yeah.
It's them.
Sex is the bad part.
Yeah, no good.
There you go.
Speaking of sex, what do
All
you
the
have
time.
for us on trivia?
Today's trivia topic is going to be...
I don't know why that happens, why that's a thing, but... Trivia!
Trivia topic is consoles. I stuck with... Being as our
I've
podcast...
played a console.
You played a console or two in your life?
Mm-hmm.
I figured.
Couple.
So, seeing as how our podcast focuses more on retro than modern, I stuck with retro consoles. This is going to span, just going to be pre-2000. This takes place in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. This is where all the trivia comes from.
God help us.
I didn't want to do like newer stuff. I don't know. So I stuck with the older stuff.
Right. Whereas the newer stuff is probably a little more gimme because we've lived through it rather than would have to know about it.
The older stuff would be more interesting, but also you would learn a thing or two about consoles that you may or may not have ever heard of. That's about the readers. I mean, the listeners. So with that in mind, we'll start
further
without
ado.
I'm going to start in descending order with the timeline.
So we're start in descending testicles. Time order. Sorry
for those listening.
The Rock, Marty, and Don.
I'm just saying we haven't quite noted our scorekeeper versus our contestants here.
We're going to get to that.
I thought you were just like, well, and the question 1 is, and I'm like, wait.
Candy.
Today's contestants are going to be the one and only Aaron Cordero versus.
It's like I have 1.5 of me.
The one and only.
The one and
a half
only
Justin.
Justin Piper.
Yes.
Aaron versus Justin.
This is working. All right.
Scorekeeper for today's trivia will be Irene. Irene is allowed to score as she sees fit.
Nice.
If she wants to give 1 point, she's allowed.
This
if she
is
wants
a
to give 4 million points per.
Irene scores.
Yes.
Yay! I'm happy.
Nice. You heard the man. You could give me 1 billion points.
Scoring will be based off of correct answers as well as how she feels the answer was given. So sometimes a wrong answer might still warrant points.
If it were confident,
get creative or goofy or creative, right?
Please.
Yeah.
Do so.
Yes. Don't try to be all shitty.
Yeah.
Don't forget,
that's good life advice.
Everybody has the ability to tap the other person, which forces them to answer at the.
Which we are certainly going to call screw at least 1 point.
No screwing. This is
right.
a tap. We are MultiTap.
You may tap whatever you like. You may score whenever you like.
Nice.
You may not screw.
I like the sound.
All
of
this
this
innuendos, but no screwing.
Right. So
I feel like I should be the one who is required now to say, try not to call in with someone else's name because I did that.
Correct.
the buzzer is the contestant's name. So we're gonna start in the mid-90s. It's the 32-bit era. Woo. So this is the mid-90s to late 90s.
Neat.
Ready?
Sure.
Question 1. Now,
question the first.
I do the create.
These questions are mostly about. They're all going to be the names of consoles. Now, I didn't do handhelds.
Sure.
With one maybe slight exception.
Kind of exception.
Yeah, but handheld would be the key.
Is it a Nomad?
Or here, and the Nomad is a handheld. You can hold it.
Yeah, but you said it's an exception.
I guess you can hold anything in your hand. I mean, the fucking PS3 is a handheld. You hold it in your hand.
I thought PS4
it's a handheld. Well, the GameCube came with a handy handle to
That's true.
tote it around.
These are not portable systems. These are systems that were designed to be plugged in and played in one spot.
I feel like that portable was so overly enunciated.
Okay. Name this system, fellas. Released in 1993, this is the most expensive console of its time, releasing at $700.
Aaron. You?
Incorrect.
Justin. Genesis.
Very incorrect.
Really? 93,
The Genesis
right?
For 700?
700.
That's what he said.
Yeah. How much was the Genesis when it came out?
Genesis came out
I didn't buy one.
A much earlier year.
Was it?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Was it CD based?
Yes, it was.
Holy shit.
Is it one that not many people bought?
Absolutely.
The Saturn?
Because it was $700.
Yes. So is that helping you fellows?
Well, it's too late
guess,
now. We
yeah.
already was it
It's
Saturn?
over, yeah.
No.
No.
Well, then how
This
am I
one
way
that
off?
it was on an infomercial, right? Like that's how they marketed it. Was like
I don't remember an infomercial being
Okay.
involved. Not that I'm saying that's not true.
okay.
But now that we're both wrong.
It was the 3DO.
The 3DO.
That one I forget about, even though I was like, wow,
I have a
Gex must be
3DO
cool.
right there.
Did it cost you $700?
It did not.
Oh, nice.
Panasonic on it?
It's a Panasonic system.
Your
And it
TV
plays-
says Panasonic.
Does it play VHS?
No, it plays disc CDs.
It looks like it plays VHS.
It does look like that. That CD tray comes out, but it's just a CD tray.
I've never seen one of those. Nonetheless, still feel as though my guests were foolish.
Foes of Ali.
What's
Did
that?
you-
Foes of Ali is a 3DO game.
By
Starring
Muhammad
the
Ali.
Foes of Muhammad Ali.
Oh, all the-
but no
The
Muhammad
3DO is an awful system. It came out, like we said, at $700. It did not sell well.
So far too much, you think?
yes, because
Clearly.
$700 in '93 is the equivalent of like $1,200
yeah.
by today's.
Goodness.
buying a computer.
Yeah, and didn't even have any great games for it. There's like 2 good games for it. It was the first
Foes
system.
of Ali, clearly.
Flows of Ali for sure. You can only that was the
What's
first.
that other one?
The other games I have up there are Shockwave 2 and Madden. I have a couple others, but they don't have cases.
How much did you buy your 3DO
That
for?
3DO I got for like
$700
$30.
How many bones is
Yeah.
that?
I got that for $6.99 bones.
Bones?
Damn.
Yeah.
Bones is strong this year.
$6.99 bones.
That was the first place you could ever play Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo at home. So that was like the only noteworthy thing about the 3DO. Because Super Street Fighter 2
Cool.
Turbo was never in like mainstream consoles until way later. Anyway, question number 2.
Yeah.
Also released in 1993. This is the first home console that was 64 bits. Aaron. Jaguar is correct.
Eh.
Nice.
Atari Jaguar with like 600 buttons.
Yes. I was going to ask how many buttons are on a Jaguar controller, but I lost count.
I think I know.
It's
64.
like 38 or something like that.
Well, it's like a standard, pretty much a Sega controller, but with a pin pad on the
Yeah,
bottom.
it's stupid.
So you've got like 4 for the D-pad, 4 for the other buttons. That's just 8 right there. And then you've got
You got shoulder buttons too, I think, right? Or no? I don't remember.
I think it's 12 plus the 8 is 20 buttons.
I have never seen a Jaguar
The Jaguar is
in life or on a picture.
the Jaguar is one of a handful of systems I've never fucking played.
It had
ever.
absurd, like, the little pin pad on the bottom had things that would go for different games. So games often came with little plastic sheets that you would, like,
That's so old
plug
school.
over it. So that way you could see, oh, that's my smart disk button. And then you would
Wow.
equip your smart disk
Yeah.
because you're the Predator.
Did you have one, or did you just...
No, my buddy Justin did. Not you.
Like, well-
A different buddy Justin, whom I know.
Not me, I didn't have one.
He had
I
a...
obviously know nothing
He had
about
a Jaguar,
this.
and Kasumi Ninja is not good.
No.
Nor is most of the games on that system.
With the
Sure.
exception of
Iron Soldier or whatever was pretty cool,
I
actually.
thought you were gonna say Alien vs Predator.
Alien vs. Predator was...
That was its shine. That was the game that made people want a Jaguar at the time because everybody looked at Jaguar and said this console is nobody wants to accept that Alien vs Predator game looks pretty rad.
You
Also, it was 1993.
you
So-
turned really slow in that game.
Well, you're playing a first-person shooter with a D-pad.
It's true.
Yeah. Question number 3.
Yes.
This ultimately doomed 32-bit system was surprisingly launched 4 months before its scheduled release date in May of 1995. They surprisingly released it 4 months ahead of its release date.
Justin.
Justin,
Genesis.
the Genesis.
Sega Genesis.
In 1995.
Oh. How do I never listen to yours? I'm just gonna say
You were
answer
so
Genesis
close.
all the time.
Genesis was your last one.
Yeah.
Genesis, 1995 is the year that the PlayStation 1 came out.
Is it? Oh,
just,
you're
just
right.
to put it into perspective.
That's true.
Say the question one more time.
The question is, this ultimately doomed 32-bit system was surprisingly launched 4 months before its scheduled release date in May of 95.
He already got one wrong on my head by one. Was that the Sega Saturn?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Does it say Genesis?
No. Was that the Sega Genesis?
That is absolutely correct, Aaron Cordero.
The Sega CD, no
released
doubt.
the same year as the PlayStation.
It did,
Wow.
but they literally just said, "Surprise! This shit's out now, son!" And then nobody fucking knew.
Wait, at E3,
Yeah.
they said it, and then it was.
They were like,
They
"Guess
released
what?
that
This
day.
shit's about to be out
I do remember
on the
that.
same day." But
Damn it, hindsight.
yeah.
They should sell them at the convention. They would have made a bundle.
But the problem is they didn't tell anybody that.
Right.
So
Nobody
there
had
was
money. They
there
were
was
like,
no
oh.
there was no hype or like stores didn't have them.
They only
stocked
had
and
like 4
ordered.
systems made.
It turned out to be a
Ever.
pretty
Ever.
big mistake.
Sega Sanshiro.
Aaron's on a roll.
Damn.
Question number 4. The SNES almost had a CD add-on made for it that was rejected, but ultimately led to the creation of this system. Aaron's thinking. Aaron?
64?
That is incorrect.
But it was
This-
for Nintendo. So
The Super Nintendo almost had a CD add-on. It was rejected, but it ultimately turned into this system.
Justin. Dreamcast.
GameCube.
Incorrect.
GameCube?
It was a CD thing.
Yeah.
So, was it made by Nintendo?
No, it was made by Sony.
Oh. But there you go. I'm like, Nintendo. It's got to have Nintendo on it.
PlayStation.
It was the
First PlayStation 1?
Yeah. It was actually going to be
Rejected by Nintendo? Like,
yeah.
it was going to be
They
an add-on
had a
to
prototype for it. It was the same idea as a Sega CD.
I thought that was 64.
That was a 64.
I thought they were going to make a CD
You're thinking
from
of the
64
DD, and that actually did come out, just not in America.
64
Oh.
DD.
Double D's.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Damn 64.
Damn, son.
Yeah, that was a tricksy question.
She's a brick.
There wasn't that. That's what led to Sony developed. They were partnered with Nintendo, made the CD add-on, kind of like what the Sega CD is to Sega Genesis. Nintendo said, "Never mind." Sony took its technology.
Strike that. Reverse it.
It turned out to be a huge mistake because then Sony went out, made the PlayStation with that technology, and the PlayStation ended up beating Nintendo in the next console war.
Yeah.
Believe.
So,
Well, there's that.
question number 5. Most people believe Nintendo skipped the 32-bit era and jumped from 16-bit to 64-bit. This is untrue. Name the 32-bit Nintendo console. They are thinking hard.
Aaron.
Tap.
Nice. Nice.
Justin is forced to answer. He has 5 seconds. 2, 1. Guess.
Sega Genesis.
Aaron,
I had nothing.
would you like to get a guess?
Did
Did you tap? I feel like you get a free guess, right? Is that how it works?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
Sure.
do you?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, go for it.
You said that you
Can
they
I-
had a 32-bit system?
I will give you a hint.
How dare you?
I'm
It's
sorry.
not the Sega Genesis.
Go ahead and guess.
It's not the
the
Sega
Sega Genesis. Yeah, because you can still score on this. I'm not going to give you a hint.
It's
I'm
true.
going to say there's probably no way that it ended up being the 64. Because that was...
64
They made a big
bits.
deal about that, but like other crap came out after it. You said there were no handhelds. and
I
it
said there
lived.
was no handhelds with the exception of one
Oh.
that isn't
Was
really
this
a...
the Game Boy Advance?
No,
Or
that's a
like-
handheld. God damn it.
It said the exception of one. This could be the one.
It
When did
is.
this come out?
It came out in 1995, and it was discontinued
95.
in 96.
Um,
It literally lasted for 7 months. It was out August 95, and it was discontinued March of 96.
Virtual
It's-
Boy.
It is Virtual Boy.
I was like, am I
Wow.
looking right at it?
Yes.
That's
That
16
came
bit?
out in
32
95?
bit?
Dang.
I thought it was
32 bit.
earlier than
Really?
that.
Yep.
Why am I remembering that looking far worse?
Is that the one that
Because
is
it wasn't
technically
great.
not because it's not a handheld, but it's supposed to be portable?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was
But
right
you
on. It's
said-
supposed to be portabling.
You know
But
what? These
because
people
they
should
call-
make a harness for that and walk around.
They
like,
called that a
playing
hand. That's because that's technically portable, I guess, but it's not a handheld. You can't hold it
It
with your
comes on a
hands.
stupid tripod.
It's because you
would
have to
only
hold it-
play that.
You have to have a
stationary.
controller in your
Right.
hands. You can't hold
Which
it.
is yours getting ready to fall over?
It's leaning because
It's got like a bipod there. Because
It's leaning because that shelf is at capacity, and that those games to the left are pushing it.
because it looks like
You're
it's
past
like is that one of its
maximum
legs
occupancy
laying there
now.
and it's only got the two legs?
It
and
goes
it's
in
kinda
like
stuck
a
it?
Z. It's
So it only lasted 7
Oh
months.
yeah,
That's
it's
why.
like okay.
yeah.
That's a
Alright.
7-month design.
Yep.
It's
It,
Alright.
it's outdated.
that's Nintendo's biggest failure. What sucks is
I
that
still
was
feel good about my answer.
that was Gunpei. There's a gentleman that worked at Nintendo. He designed the original Game Boy and was like the executive producer on Super Metroid. His last thing he ever made was the Virtual Boy.
He had a really cool name
And
though.
then he died of
Gunpei
it.
Yoko.
They're like
That puzzle game Gunpei on
Mhm.
PSP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
It was named after that guy.
Yep.
well, gunplay.
Last question for this round.
You do decree it.
I do decree it.
That's your first decree.
I'm sorry.
That's your very first. No, you should be
This
proud. This is
question's
a big
extra
moment.
important.
This is the first system that launched with a controller featuring an analog stick.
Feature.
Launched with an analog stick. Not...
This seems like a trick question.
Not... Yes, that's why I'm saying the word launched.
Launched with an analog stick.
In 64?
That is correct.
Yay!
Oh, I was going to choose that one. I thought it was a trick.
It's the PlayStation
No.
got it later.
The PlayStation had an analog stick, but didn't launch with it.
Right.
Launch was the key word.
It didn't. I had an old-ass one where it was just a stupid paddle
They
that
feel
looked
so
like
small.
nothing. Like it was...
They feel hollow.
They
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Like, what a cheap...
Like a
thing.
cheap computer paddle. You're just like,
Yeah.
eh.
Round one!
It's like
And
trying
a
to
round
play a
one.
video game with a bird.
It's
you
like,
for-
please let me go. You're like, I shan't.
Thank you for playing.
You're my only means of...
You're my only
Playing this
connection
video
to this
game.
Mega
You
Man.
guys only didn't answer 2, I think, right? That was pretty good.
Yeah. I'm going to
Didn't answer.
suggest that
Don't.
perhaps you abandon the Sega Genesis.
Never.
Yeah, so the
Deal.
Genesis...
Can't.
I will give you a hint with the Genesis. 'Cause the Genesis didn't even come out in the 90s.
I'm gonna
just
stop
for
you
the
there.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna give you a hint. I'm probably gonna answer Sega Genesis at least thrice.
Well,
more.
that was
Right.
the 32-bit era. The 16-bit era might have some Genesises as the answer.
Well,
Genocide.
if you guess
Genocide,
C every time,
Genesis. Eventually, it's going to be C.
eventually it's gonna
There's
be
multiple
C.
choice on here, so coming
No,
up. there's
with
multiple-
my luck, he's gonna get the Sega Genesis question.
Possibly.
I will like hold on it and be like, and then he'll have gone Aaron, and he'll be like, no.
I like how you
This
say it
is
slow,
the
like...
one.
Because I am worried.
No, you are very deliberate, and I cherish it about you.
Aaron shall take this one. Stand aside, Genesis
Aaron.
So, really quick, sorry. We'll pause this for a second. Do you have pen and paper? My phone's dying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just wondering why you were taking it on.
Leaving this in, by the way.
I thought it would be enough, but yeah, it's
I have a pen
Executive
that's dying.
decision.
I had
a
some
pen
sticky
that's
notes.
dying.
Leaving
Yeah.
all of this in.
I do have a pen that is dying. If you want to.
Did you get it to work?
Yeah, it eventually got a little bit on it, and then it's starting to kind of sputter.
Nicely done.
Here's a pencil.
okay.
Wow.
Well, between the two, I think.
Is that
I think we'll
sticky
be
note
okay.
a good enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Fine
fine.
paper.
Yeah. No, this is okay.
It's been chewed on by an aminal, but
Oh, never mind this.
We're not scoring high, so she only needs one little piece of
I
sticky
wrote
note.
poop out for Piper when
Poop?
he didn't answer the tap out.
You can write poop.
he got poked.
I've gotten poop so far.
I can write whatever I want.
You texted me
One poop to
and I
five.
went,
Well, because you said the garage. You said Mandy made the garage a nightmare.
oh, like she
So
shat
I'm
in
thinking
it?
like she pooped in it, and now we can't be in there.
Amy's mom went out
Oh,
there.
I thought
and,
Mandy would be your cat's name or something.
No.
Who's
Okay.
Mandy?
Yeah, that's what I
Amy's
thought.
mom.
She pooped?
Yeah. In the garage.
so
and that's
good.
why- and that's
I
why
mean,
we
of course she
couldn't-
pooped. She's
Chris,
pooped hundreds of
Chris
times.
was told, I even caught that. I never heard anything told
Runs
now,
out
but
to the
Chris
garage,
was told
rips the
that Mandy
grumpy,
made
like-
the garage a nightmare. He assumed Mandy
Was
was
the
one of the
cat.
cats,
Was a cat,
and the way the
yeah.
cat could have messed it up was perhaps by pooping
That is
everywhere.
correct.
God.
But in
It's-
fact,
Funny because both of
It was
you have made the
probably
misconception,
decoration
the same
choices.
one. So now all I have is a visual of Amy's little
Just
old
like-
mother out there just like
Just
like
ripping
out,
ripping a
ripping
grumpy.
out the
Just-
garage.
Ripping a
can't-
grumpy.
You
Where the
can't
car
go
goes, not even in like the cat.
Where the car
Yeah.
goes.
Okay.
She's just like, I'm gonna park the car on my shit later. I don't know. It's,
flatten this out like a pancake. See how far I can get it.
yeah.
Those fuckers didn't do the dishes again. Shit in
I'm
their
gonna
driveway.
shit in their garage,
In their garage.
which is my garage.
That'll just show them how mad I
That'll
am.
show them.
Right.
That'll learn them.
It's a pretty good visual, though. I mean, it's really funny.
Well, depends on what kind of poop.
It's funny, I guess.
If we're talking,
If it's
if
just
we're
the
talking,
green apple
if we're talking like a
splatters, or-
coiled, nice one, that's okay. But if we're talking like
Diarrhea or
yeah, we're talking about like more liquid than solid.
Some
Yeah.
sputtery mess that
That's
just
bad
kind of
news.
like
That's
coughs
bad
its
news.
way
A
out.
Yeah.
coiled, nice one, as though
Yeah.
somebody had worked at McDonald's for a good 6 months before ever trying to give you soft serve.
Yeah, dude, it takes practice.
Not one of those
but-
beginning idiots.
Yeah, not one of those amateur. This ain't
So
fucking
after you
bush
get-
league ass amateur.
After you
hour
get done
fucking-
with the dentist, they fuck up your soft serve with like a,
I don't
and then
understand
it drips down the cone.
if it's like employee like what they feel like at the time, or if there's like a rule for how much soft serve you get, but like or which location. Be like, I would like a cone, and then they get like 3 inches of cone. Or you go someplace, they be like a 6-inch Gigantor, and you're like, does this guy like me, or like he just doesn't give a shit? He's like, well, it's still sturdy. Once it starts leaning, okay, we're done.
Right?
Like he just wants to see how big he can get it without fucking up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's my friend.
Even
He's
if
a
it falls
cool
over,
guy.
if I catch it with a napkin, I'm still eating it.
Yeah. Indeed.
I'd
I think
hire
it's
that guy
just-
at the Krusty Krab if I were Mr. Krabs.
I'm thinking of her poop in a coil as like you walk in and you think it's a snake.
Yes.
You're like, oh no, it's worse.
Gas!
It's poop.
Oh no, it's
Yeah.
just poop.
This snake is really
It's worse.
smelly.
And brown and
Must
doesn't have a
investigate
head
squad.
and
Dang, Snake, you fell in some stinky
That's
mud.
gonna be a huge ass poop, like to be a snake.
huge
on
ass
the
Some
outside.
stinky
Yes.
mud.
Wow.
Yeah, the-
MultiTap podcast. folks.
Multi-crap podcast. Podcast. It never ends.
We need to have the juvenile episode, except for, isn't that really
That's every episode, yeah,
really?
This takes us to our next topic, though.
Oh.
This topic is going to be hosted by none other than Mr. Cordero,
Oh.
featuring the top 3.
Oh, we're there now.
Oh.
Aaron hosts this round. I do decree.
I think, I don't know, maybe you did decree it. I don't know if you decide or if we're just going round robin with this stuff. But it has been decreed by the fates that I shall host the top 3. And this week's top 3 is deaths. Either your favorite method of a character, an enemy dying, like they explode into bits or whatever, a specific storyline, death, character, or anything of the sort. Really just getting morbid with this one. We will start on my left with Irene and go clockwise, I suppose.
Okay,
Meaning that I will cap this off at the end.
that's fair.
Sounds alright. If you're ready to
I am
take it.
ready to take it.
Mm.
So I just thought of one like 5 seconds ago.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's very nice. So did you guys ever play the game Crystal Castles?
Final Fantasy?
Once.
Hella old. No.
Crystal
That's
Chronicles.
Alright.
It's
Wait.
like a really stupid game where there's like red crystals scattered on the floor of the level, and you play as an armored bear,
Oh
and
no.
you walk
That
around and
one
you
does
collect.
not sound familiar.
I'm thinking of a different game. I
Okay,
thought it
it's
was the one
hella
where you go
old.
up the towers and it has those little pegs that come out and then back and then you're trying to get
No,
up the...
that's not Crystal.
something like that.
I know what you're talking about. That's not it.
I was thinking of that.
Um,
I've not played Crystal Castles.
Okay, so you're
You
playing as
lost me
this-
at Armored Bear.
Yeah, you're playing as this armored bear. There you go. Yeah.
huh, shit.
So and you walk around.
He is like a wizard.
It looks
Yeah.
like Hubert.
It does look a lot like Hubert.
Yeah, except you don't jump or
With
anything. You
Legos.
just walk around and you take elevators to go
Is
up.
that really armor?
Wow.
He's wearing. I don't know. I thought it was armor.
That
Maybe not.
bear is...
It's red.
Made
It's
me
got a
poop
red.
in my pants.
A
Yeah.
fancifully clad bear.
I want to play this now though. That
So
looks
when
kind of
you
fun.
die, what happens
Huh.
is the bear yells a speech bubble that says like, "Oh no," or sometimes it'll say "Ouch," and then he dies. And it's wonderful. It's so.
Oh,
scary.
no!
It's just
Yeah.
black.
No.
Damn.
So yeah, that's my number 3.
That's
it's
all right.
bad. You should look it up because it's.
I want to play that. I legitimately want to play
You
that after
should.
having seen that.
You'll want to play it for like 5 minutes. And
Oh.
you're like,
Bentley Bear is loose.
that's it.
Bentley Bear.
Yes.
Bentley Bear.
That's like what you
That's
name
cute.
a plush.
It's so adorable.
is.
It is a plush. The advertisement for it has a
Oh
literal stuffed
my
animal.
God.
I knew that. That's a wizard bear.
Yeah.
That is a wizard bear.
Quite literally a
The-
wizard bear.
A wizard plush
He's
bear.
goose stepping.
He's definitely goose stepping.
Well, if you're gonna be a plush bear,
He's
Bentley,
a,
why you got a BSS?
He's a pretty grand wizard.
all right. Are you doing all 3? Or are we going
Let's
I
do
think
one
we
at a
do
time.
one at a
yeah.
time?
I like that. We do one at a time normally. I kind of like it.
Okay. So
Yes.
my number 3 is the animation for when Samus dies in Metroid 3. Because the sprite, the screen turns black. She moves to the center of the screen. She begins to explode, but her armor explodes, and then you see her in a bikini
Chick.
underneath. It wasn't that. It was just my 12-year-old self was like, oh.
Yeah.
No. I thought that was a really cool animation though for its time. And,
Yeah, definitely.
Wasn't that kind of big for
Or
a lot of
94?
gamers, though? The revelation that she was a girl is people just assume
Well, not
that this
at
is
that
some
point.
armored. Well, no, but I mean the death of Samus. I guess in Metroid was it 1 or 2
Learning.
that they did the first one when she dies.
well, when she dies in all of them technically if you die, but
Yeah, I
The
mean
first one you explode.
when
Does
she
it
dies
reveal
and then
her
it
gender?
explodes
no,
and shows.
it only does that in Metroid 3.
So 3.
Yeah, but you learn she's a girl at the end of Metroid 1.
I've talked to like 2 or 3 different people that thought that was a really big moment. There's like, I didn't know she was a girl.
Well,
maybe they hadn't played.
Maybe
1
a lot
or
of people
2.
didn't play 1 and 2.
What if
Yeah.
Metroid was a guy? And you're like,
Yeah.
that's not.
Because even in
Right.
Metroid
His
2,
It's Ninja Gaiden's dad.
In Metroid 2, she even it shows you her without her armor at the end if you beat it in a certain amount of time. Like it's interesting because in Metroid 2, after the credits, it tells you your playtime. It's a close-up version of Samus running towards the camera, and at the end of the credits, she flips, and when she lands, depending on how long you've spent beating the game, she will be wearing less armor. So if you beat it in under 2 hours, she has no armor on, and for every subsequent hour,
Metroid, right?
That's for Metroid 2.
Oh, okay.
That's Nintendo Prawn right
I'm just
there.
saying, like
Nintendo
when you learn she's a girl in every Metroid.
Okay, I'm sure the people
Assuming
that I
you played
talked to either hadn't played 1 or 2 or hadn't gotten to that point.
Yeah.
As
Does
like
that
they would
also
beat it
happen
in a certain amount of time.
In Super Metroid, it does happen. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And in Super Metroid, it's the same thing. She jumps backwards and shoots at the screen.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then depending on how long you beat it, she'll be wearing less armor in that too. But when you die, I thought the animation was really good. I mean, that game's 2D animation was great, and
She does like a little yelp or something.
yeah, she
Head
screams
Yeah,
a little
exactly.
bit. Like
It's like coming out of the
the
ocean.
hair
like,
comes out.
"Oh!"
Like it's a really cool looking 2D sprite. So yeah, I really like
How do
that.
you fit that much
animation.
hair in that
so
helmet?
cool.
Do you choke on?
Yeah.
Just wrapping it around her neck,
It's all
his
It's like
hair.
Finn
face.
from Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whips the helmet off and just flowing.
Yeah. Justin, you're
Those are
number
cool
3.
games. I felt so good about this week that I was like prepared with stuff,
Good.
and now I'm overly prepared. I have too many
Oh.
ones. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say the first death that ever affected me in video games, like a death, like the permanence of death, was Tella.
Tell
I was
us.
like, I saw it and I was like, oh.
That's a good
You Spoony Bard! And then everything that follows from you Spoony Bard got really sad. You're like, Mia!
And also, Palom and Boron.
Yeah.
was sad too.
They don't really
looked that up.
die.
They
though.
don't actually
Well, they-
die.
don't
I
they
thought
die
they
back
did,
second
and then
or
I'm like, they die, right? And I looked it up. I'm like, oh, I guess they don't die.
No, because you get them back towards the end of the game.
Oh.
No.
I
But
thought
his
they
was
were dead.
you get a lot of people back at the end of that game,
Yeah.
but never
Not
Tella.
Tella.
And
Tella.
I was really
Because
that was
he
like
died.
yeah,
He
that was
really
like
died.
Phoenix down or something. Like that was over, game over for Tella, and it really hit me when I was little. I was like, oh, he's gone. Like the goldfish is gone. You had to flush him. Tella's dead forever.
Flush him.
And that was big as a video game death. Probably bigger than the Ares death. For me,
you,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
the other one, like you expect things as you go along later at games, but that was a very early game for me to play that somebody died very permanently.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And it was cool. He went out with a bang, literally. And it's a very epic death. But I thought it was cool. That's my number 3.
Good.
Cool.
It probably should be my number 1. I like that death.
You seem pretty passionate about it.
I-
It should have been number 1.
It's in the fields.
You better have some more feels coming up for these other ones, or we'll feel cheated.
Yes. I'll do my best.
My number 3 would be flying at the screen. Like when you were talking just earlier about how Mario turns into a block, but it's because his hands and feet go flying towards the screen. He looks at it, you're like, oh my god! Sonic does the same thing. He's just running at you, hits a spike, and he just looks out at the screen like, what have I done? Or like, what have you done? He just, that pleading look when they look at the screen and go, no! And then they fall. They usually fly up in the sky a bit and then fall straight out of panel. You're like, how does this work physically? I don't understand, but
Same thing for Mario. I like the sound effect that goes along with his, because after the bling, you spill all your coins. On the death one, it goes like you did something wrong.
oh no. You should have grabbed some rings. There's a lot of them just flew out of you. They're all over the place.
One ring, just
One
something.
ring is enough. Just do it.
One ring
Except for the later levels where
to
they don't give
save
you
the
one to
Sonic.
fight a boss. Don't get it.
Yes.
That would be... I like that. It happens in a lot of games.
Kind of breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah, you're like...
They look at the camera.
And they fall off, like... Were you running on, like, a platform this whole time? They fly in front of it. Like, you dig in through the ground, you're in the front of this... Whatever.
All right.
No logic to it. My number 2, off the recording, we talked about Grandia 2 earlier.
Yes.
And when Merrick died, that was surprising. I was not expecting that, and it made me so sad.
It's already too late, but this is a spoiler-heavy segment.
Well, it's
So many. I know, but that's when we're
We're not doing
Statute
any.
of limitations.
We're not doing. Yeah,
That's
Grandia
this
2
show.
came out like 17 years.
It's,
ago.
most of
Yeah.
these games came out.
My
no,
newest
14.
game was, like, on GameCube.
I was gonna. One of my deaths was a newer game. I changed it so I didn't spoil it.
Mine too.
Like The Last
Might be
of
the
Us.
same one.
None of
Okay.
mine are.
Ours was
I can. I'll describe it in minimal detail.
For the record.
Okay. I took mine out.
Okay.
I threw out as a potential little spoiler The Last of Us, but I've not actually played it and don't know if anyone dies. I'm not spoiling anything.
Which you would feel like they do.
I feel like somebody might
The
probably...
Last of Us kind of
but, like,
implies that
yeah.
others
Well, they're talking about
die,
like
I don't know.
humanity.
Yeah.
No, I know,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
But I'm sorry, as someone who has not played Grandia 2,
A middle-aged
explain-
man and a little girl fight to the death.
well, it just means like
There
there
can be
implies
only
that people
one.
die because you're the last of age.
Put on
Anyway.
Thunderdome.
Joel experiences the quickening.
Or Thunderdome. Would work.
The Last
You
of
know.
Or
Us
Thunderdome.
is just Highlander.
Yeah.
That's what you just said.
Yeah.
That's what they're gonna. Well, The Last of Us. They're gonna keep making sequels, and eventually it's just gonna turn into the Highlander,
Or,
the best Highlander
who
game.
runs Barter Town?
Master Blaster.
Louder.
Master Blaster. Sir Blaster.
This is, even though it's a movie quote, that's kind of also one of our catchphrases.
A little bit.
Embargo.
This happened like 3 times.
We always have to make some kind of reference to Thunderdome, I feel like.
We do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I have not played Grandia 2.
Oh,
Who is that
love
guy and what
awkward.
happens?
So he's just a member of your party. He's this big, like, beast dude. And
He's your tank. He's your
pretty much, yeah.
He's
He's a really
Kamari.
good character, you know, and he dies. And, you know, it's kind of like the whole Ares thing where it's like, fuck, I just spent all this time building up his character and he died.
Caring
But
about you.
They were really smart in Grandia. And they, you were able to go and find, like, a little package or something that would give you all of his powers to distribute to other characters.
Interesting.
That is cool.
Yeah, so
I forgot about that.
yeah, and like I found it on accident. I didn't know.
I don't
it
think I
existed or
did that. I
anything,
think I
but-
missed it.
Yeah,
I
that
love
might have
that
been
game.
the re-release version. I don't know, but yeah. So
That reminds me, who was that in Well, this is another death thing. We'll wait till we're over before I ask this
Okay.
question.
Okay.
okay,
And just in case it's on a list.
yeah.
So my number 2, it was gonna be from The Last of Us,
Gasp!
but I don't want to spoil it. Even though I will just say this, it's the very first one.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you
You
guys
told
know
me about
I
that
already
one.
know.
I don't know if we
Yeah.
did. I don't think we did that on cast, but
Good
you told me
God.
about it.
That's-
But they just managed to make you care about a character in such a short time so that when this death occurs, you're like, fucking whoa. It actually develops.
I actually care more about that death in that video game than I do about any death in any movie.
I completely agree
Look,
because it
I-
was acted very well, and it just like also develops the main character Joel as a character very well too, because then
Yeah.
you totally understand because you went through his trauma as a player, and
I had to play it 2 times. Both times it wrecked me.
yeah, but it's actually kind of tear inducing, and I don't cry on games ever. I mean, I didn't really cry, but I was feeling like super
You had to.
Like about to.
You're such a stoic.
I'm just saying, it was a good death. That's not my number 2 though.
Oh.
Oh.
Because I
Just
didn't
went
want
into
to.
this
I didn't want to spoil it, but then we ended up getting.
which I think is funny because it kind of does because you're like it
All right.
establishes his trauma and
You know
it happens
what?
in a short time. So I think there's only like 2 characters that could really do that.
That's
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my.
Runner
That's
up
my
or
number
your
2 then.
Fake one.
No, I'm
Okay.
gonna be my number 2. That's
All
fine.
right.
Oh man, that should be number 1 of.
You can also
everybody's.
do a number 1.5.
I can do an
and
honorable
one.
mention.
Yeah, honorable mentions.
You
are fine.
can.
Yeah.
I have an honorable mention, so we're gonna do that.
Okay, so I'll do that. At
I
the
had
end.
one prepared.
I had
Yeah.
one and I've lost it, so I might
That
find it
too.
again.
Okay,
Okay, sweet.
Justin,
Where are we?
you're
You
number
just
2.
did, oh, you just did yours.
He didn't, and then he did.
I'm
All
awful
over
at
again.
this, like remembering the order of who's going on these things.
I should be dictating better
I,
as the leader of the segment.
I should remember better.
Yes.
I have a bad memory.
Do that.
So spoilers. If you haven't played any of the Mass Effects, when you get to 2, some people die. When you get to 3, people start dying. Like people just die on your teams. You just no, I've lost those people. You have these decisions at the end of games, and then depending on the decisions what you make, you could permanently lose people on your next playthrough because they're continuous. So you play your first
Well, in, like,
character
2.
moves into 2. Yeah, on 2. Like send this person into the vents, and then if you send the wrong person into the vents, they'll die. They're not available on 3 when you play with your character. So it's interesting, but there was a choice that you have to make, and then it's almost it doesn't matter what you do. Morden dies on 3, and
Wow.
I just got like really sad about it because he was like really cool.
He was.
They
Cool
care
guy.
about him. He sings the.
He sings.
The very
That's
model
important.
of a scientist American.
Yes.
I
But it's
did not
really
play
funny,
3.
and he was cool.
I didn't play 3 either.
I wanted to,
I
but
got
I
stuck on 2 and never finished.
I beat 1 and 2 a bunch on Xbox, and now I play on computer forever. So I need to pick them up. They're on Steam sales repeatedly
Well,
right now,
not
and
3.
for like $7. I already have 3 because I got that on like the EA like Humble Bundle forever ago.
Yeah, but I'm
So-
saying that's not on Steam. That's on Origin.
But apparently your saves carry over. If you get
They
the Steam
do.
version of Mass Effect 1 and 2, your
That's
saves
good.
will work on the Origin Mass Effect 3,
That's good.
which I plan on doing someday if I ever feel like sitting down and playing through Mass Effect 1 and 2 again.
1 and 2 are far better than 3, and 1 is far better than either 2 or 3 combined.
to finish the trial.
1's your
You
favorite?
do. 1 is my absolute favorite Mass
1's.
Effect.
I think we've had this conversation, right?
Yeah.
But do we have it on cast?
We should.
I just loved 1, and then I played 2 for like 6-7 hours, and they changed it so drastically that I really fell like out of love with it. Like I didn't like the combat. I didn't like the inventory system. I didn't like how you couldn't change like equipment with except for being at like a fucking terminal or whatever.
Yeah,
I
they did
hated that
change
you
it
had
very
ammo.
drastically.
I hated that you turned it into a third-person shooter.
Yeah.
as opposed to an RPG,
An action RPG,
Yeah.
which the RPG elements are what pulled me into a third-person shooter, and then they just tore all of it out
It went way more action.
retroactively. I don't know. So one was by far the best, but then you get to 3, Morden dies, a whole bunch of people start dying. It gets tragic.
Let's leave it at
It's-
Morden, okay?
Yeah,
buddy?
it's end of the world shit. So just
Yeah,
that,
I'm sure
that's
when you
that
get to the
apocalypse
third one
shit.
in a series, people start dropping.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
kinda
it's
like, well, we're done here. Let's make this emotional.
It is. It's like one of the
Everybody
So
dies. Yeah, no, the story,
it's like fucking Joss Whedon wrote it.
the storyline's really good.
Bastard. It's pretty good. People complained. I still liked it. Sorry. That was a groan of Chris's computer almost eating shit.
Because of my cat.
Because
Okay.
of the cat.
Aaron,
Leo,
you're
you caused
number
damage.
3.
Number 2.
Number 2, I'm sorry.
Number
Yes.
2, because you guys got all your extras. Ghosts and Goblins and Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Arthur, first you take a hit, your plate mail just bursts off of your body
That's
and you're left
awesome.
in your boxers. Second hit, all of the flesh is just torn from your bones and your skeleton lands in a neat little pile.
Also,
doesn't
the
matter
sound
what it is.
effects.
It's just like boom, and you're like, blah!
A couple
You
of
are no
bones
more.
and a skull. Like,
It is enough to destroy a man like wholesale, and it delights me. Just like
the fire makes
He has
sense.
ceased
the,
to be.
The dagger. Not so much all of your skin is gone, your muscle tissue.
yeah,
Just bones.
it's so perfect, and it's used for every
pretty
death,
good.
and I love it.
That's a good one.
That is a good. I love that. I gotta go back. After we do podcasts, I have 18 games that I always want to go back and play,
I
and
love
I
Ghost
clearly
and
don't have the time.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance, you should play Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins on PSP.
Yeah.
It's super good.
I don't have a PSP.
If
I
you ever
do.
Get, you
You
can
ever
borrow
get a
one of
PSP?
ours.
Yeah, we have one.
Mine doesn't hold a charge,
Mm.
but you can borrow it.
You can
Mine
get a
barely
picture
holds a
battery.
charge.
Anyway, you're number 3.
My number 1.
Oh yeah, the top
Correction.
You're number 1.
number one.
My number 1.
You're number 2.
So, have you all played Final Fantasy Tactics?
Oh yeah.
Partially
Partially.
enough that I don't mind spoilers.
Okay,
Several
it's hella
times.
old anyway,
Yeah,
so...
it's statute of
Yeah.
limitations.
So there are many deaths that happen
Mm-hmm.
in Tactics, and, it can be kind of sad, but the one that shocked me the most was the one that happens at the end, of course.
Dice
because Aaron's
Dark.
here.
No.
What? Who?
It's a Dice Dark.
No, that doesn't happen at the end.
Cloud.
Yes, Cloud.
Yeah.
Totally. That's exactly who
Okay, Cloud's in that game.
he is.
He is.
Yeah, it's Flower Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's Ophelia when she gets stabbed by someone who I shall not name.
Ovelia Heine.
Voldemort stabs
Oh,
Ophelia.
feel
Yes,
my
it shall
Heine.
not
Not be named.
Exactly.
Right.
Named.
But I did
Animals
not
shall not
expect
touch.
that to happen.
Hmm.
And it was just it was kind of like the whole Ares thing, except it happened at the end, and it was
Right.
actually someone I cared about. So,
Damn.
Damn.
Cold-blooded.
Girl.
Yeah.
Not a love for
Yeah.
Ares. Not a lot of love for Ares. From
No.
Final
I don't
Fantasy
hate
VII.
her, I just didn't care about her.
I
I didn't hate her. I just took delight and glee in her death.
Yeah.
wanted her to die. I did not like Ares. You know why?
She wasn't Tifa.
Because Tifa.
She wasn't Tifa.
You call her Tifa?
Sometimes. I said Tifa forever, and then I heard Tifa, and I'm like, maybe that's right. So I
No,
adopted
it's
that.
Tifa.
No, it's hella Tifa.
I say
Hella
Tifa.
Tifa for days.
Well,
If they are agreeing on
Yeah, then
pronunciation,
it has to be
you
right.
know
then
it's
I must have
It's
I must
Tifa,
have
we
slipped
do
up
decree
somewhere. Must have slipped up somewhere, and I fell from Tifa's grace and became some kind of bastardized Tifa. And I apologize and beg for forgiveness.
It's just, here's the thing. When
Your
you're
linguistic offenses are lifted.
when you're playing Final Fantasy VII as a kid, you assume that you've got two love interests in the game. You've got Aerith, you've got Tifa.
Make a choice.
As Cloud.
Early on, too.
Right. I mean, the dialogue presents that you are gonna like Tifa likes Cloud, Aerith likes Cloud, so you kind of have the option of choosing like which girl to talk to. Sometimes, like in the Ferris wheel, you know, like you can see who's gonna be in the Ferris wheel with you.
We go on a date
And
with
so-
Yuffie.
Right. That's what I'm
You
saying.
want.
So like, I always wanted Tifa. I don't know, and so Aerith kind of got in
we
the way.
know why you want
So
Tifa.
it's not always about the
she
tits.
is
Iris.
wrecked.
Everything's about the tits.
She's 64 double D.
I can't just like somebody
Really
without them
quick.
having
Got two boobs, 64 double D. You got a stew going, baby.
As a really quick aside, is that like an element that dudes appreciate about games? Is having the option to like choose between girls in a game if that occurs in a game?
I think it's more about having just choice in general because back then choice wasn't never an option. You never,
Right.
you know, like Western RPGs always presented choice, but Japanese RPGs never did.
Yeah.
And so you're always in a Japanese RPG, you're being told a story as opposed to it being your story. You know,
I'm going to pull it back to Mass Effect. You don't get to choose between two women. You get to choose between like one
Anybody.
or two men interests. And up to like 3 females, I think.
Yeah,
no
you
matter
can-
if you're a man or
Like
a
all
they
woman.
don't
at the
even-
same time, or
Well, you have
No,
to kind of
one.
like pay
This is a
attention
poly deal?
to one like throughout the story more than ever. But you
Yeah.
get to choose who you want to
They
out
don't-
of several potentials.
Yeah.
You can't go with a Krogan.
they don't even have to be human though because they can be.
With almost anybody
a
else,
couple of
yeah.
You
aliens.
can't go with the Krogan.
I
can
think
you go
it's-
with the jellyfish things?
No,
sadly,
Had to
but
be
you can
humanoid.
with an
Like,
Asari
this one's
or
body
The
design.
ones that look like humans.
I forgot what Thane is, but you can Thane is your man love interest.
Drell.
Drell, you can, yeah. So
Drell suck.
All right.
It's just having the choice, I guess. It's not a matter of the gender, really. It's just that it gives you an option of... well, in Final Fantasy VII, it's an illusion, but in Mass Effect, it's not.
because of that cutscene.
Because that bitch
Yeah.
dies. So
Although you can, it is an illusion kind of, but it's an exercise in futility. But you get that whole thing like choose them for who you take up to Gold Saucer, and
Yeah.
you get a couple of choices through that
Yeah,
game. So,
Cat, please.
Yeah.
so anyways,
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 that was a decent
That's a good
death.
one.
I was surprised there. I was joshing with
that
my
game...
stars.
No, Final Fantasy
Joshing
Tactics, that game was mature as fuck.
Yeah, it
I
was.
love that.
The
That
game's-
plot is just
Dat
fucking
plot,
amazing. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
that plot.
It's
though.
designed for older audiences, and they didn't cut any corners. I like it.
Chris, you're number 3.
My number 3
Number 1.
is actually my number 1.
Rad.
However, it's my third
Your third and first choice.
entry.
We're the coolest podcast.
Having
It's-
met none of the other podcasts except for maybe one,
So
I'm gonna
very,
say, yeah, we are the coolest.
so
Yeah.
very organized and
Choiceful.
adaptable. Very just on the cuff.
Professional.
Oh, you're gonna fart on me or something.
How dare you say that, Piper?
Pull some weird ass prank that you were gonna.
My number 1
Go for it.
is Mega Man dying.
Of course.
Right.
Sorry.
Surprised to know. No, you shouldn't be.
No.
It's just become iconic with me. The orbs exploding. I always thought that was a cool effect. Like for a Nintendo game, his death was very significant. You know, like it wasn't just like he falls or he dies and just disappears or whatever. Like he fucking explodes, and also the sound that it makes is very iconic with me. Actually, I think I have it like queued up.
I think I have it here somewhere. Let me.
Listen, I like that sound.
I was
And
close.
So it's I don't know. It's very iconic to me. I like that. That's gonna be my number 1.
They're robots, but they explode into like little rings
Energy.
and balls of energy.
Well, because it's
Yeah.
the little energy that you pick up for your health,
Well,
like
yeah.
the orb things,
so there's
and
no
then you explode
like
into them.
mechanical parts.
It's
or
plasma
anything. It's
power.
just plasma power.
If you were near it,
You are
when
just
it
a
died,
bunch of
you get
electrons.
health back.
And as soon as you become unstable enough, those electrons just split.
Mega Man has a lot of great sound effects
Oh,
in
yeah.
general.
It does.
It does,
Sound is
Like
one of
especially
its strongest
teleport.
points, and it's got a lot of strong points.
Lots of good points.
Those are good points. Mega Man.
Yeah.
Mega Man.
His face looks so agonized. Who builds a robot to feel pain?
He's very determined throughout all of those. Just shoot forward with like furrowed brow and serious like drawn mouth.
He always looks stoic to me, and sometimes just kind of, I don't know, like adorable. Like I can't hate him. I can't think of him as a killer because he's just.
They capture
He's
that.
a
Even though
Mega Man,
all he
you
does
know?
is kill.
They capture that really well.
But it's
in the
machine.
Smash
He's a
Brothers.
killing machine.
He doesn't
So-
want to. That's part of the narrative. Is
I know.
he's reluctant.
Mega Man, killing machine.
See, that's what you think, but like you're controlling him, and I don't know. He doesn't show any resistance when you're controlling him, so you don't really think of him as like not wanting to do it because you're gonna just keep powering through the game.
Except for when he jumps, when he looks surprised, like, am I killing you? Mouth agape, eyes wide,
Gaping
one hand up in the air like, whoa!
So,
Also, Mega Man, not killing machine,
not colon.
the punctuation, killing machine.
Not a robot designed to kill colons.
To murder your colon.
Colon killing machine.
Yes.
It's part of the other
He's gonna
robots.
feed
so-
you hella like spicy Mexican food
Right.
all
Mm-hmm.
day.
Hot curry, red curry, Mexican food,
Hella.
just any Mexican food.
Just spicy salsa
Panda.
all day. Alberto's.
Alberto's.
That's-
Vindaloo.
Vindaloo.
Yep. And
Chicken
then you're gonna
vindaloo.
shit in the garage.
Because
Then you're
Vindaloo
gonna
is what
make
you
a snake.
scream as you rip a grumpy all over where the car goes parked.
That's probably not a coiled one.
Not no.
I would-
That's
yeah.
Probably
a
a
absolutely.
sloppy, coughed up.
that's what we call
liquidy
that's
mess.
a BP oil spill.
You're
you go.
shitting out Vindaloo as well.
Yes.
So, yes.
All
Comes
right.
out red and
So,
angry.
Piper, you're number 3.
Or my number one,
One.
whichever one we're doing. Yeah, if it's one
See,
or
you
three.
know what I did.
When do we do runners up? Should we do runner up first
Once
and then
we
our big
all
one?
get ours, we'll
finish
be
it.
like, let's just, anyone have a runner up to
Okay.
throw up?
Honorable mentions. Shadow of Colossus. Agro.
Oh hell yeah! That's
Your
a good
horse.
One.
That
That's
one's
a good one.
Oh, the horse?
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Dies? I didn't play through Shadow.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
Kind of.
You use that a lot, I should.
Without giving away the ending completely, the horse kind of
The
dies.
horse dies. Oh, kind of dies.
Kind of dies. It kind of
Actually, I
dies.
was like, wait a minute.
For all you know, it dies in the moment, and then you're just like,
Is this a Halloween porn situation?
What's that?
No.
No.
Just never.
No.
You for all intents and purposes, he's dead.
Right.
For what you know as a player.
There is a bigger death, and then there's a big ending that's really cool and
It's-
asks questions, and it goes like,
Shadow of the Colossus did so much right.
Finish
and
that game.
One of the things it did right was build that horse up to be not just a means to transit. That horse is a fucking partner.
It's like
Character.
Epona, but
I was
better.
gonna say.
Way
Yeah.
better
Very
than
much
Epona.
better
You
than
have an
Epona,
emotional attachment because literally in Shadow of the Colossus you have nothing except for
Your horse.
your fucking bullshit ass sword, your bullshit ass arrows,
Yeah.
and your horse. Your horse is the biggest asset you have in that entire
And it
game.
was so smart because that map is gigantic.
Yeah.
You wouldn't run to the Colossi.
If you
You need that horse.
Yeah.
run out of arrows and you break your sword.
You can't run out of arrows or break your sword.
Okay, but if you do you use your horse?
Your horse can't
You pick up
attack.
your horse and then hit things.
Oh yes.
No.
Yes.
Just jam a hoof
If
into
you build
those-
your strength stat up.
Right.
Yeah.
You can glitch
If you
Shadow of
build
the
your
Colossus, right? Where the horse like does funny stuff.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't tried.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was too poignant a game for me to
ruin.
I'm
to
sure
wreck
glitches.
into comedy. Yeah, it's not comedic.
Fair enough.
comedy.
Fair enough.
Cat's over here.
But yeah, that was my number one. I got there, and that was a
Oh,
big.
man, that's
that
a
was
good
a
one.
big thing for me. That was a big game. I was playing it. I faced a lot of fears to play that game.
Water.
I overcame a lot of expectations.
The underwater Colossus.
Fuck that
in
water
game
Colossus,
is
man.
fucking frightening.
And
Fuck that Colossus.
And the flying one, I shit my pants because I thought it was a water
The
one. You
flying-
start in the
yeah,
water.
The flying one's also everything in that game is majestic and as fuck. The scale in that game has not been matched, in my
Wait.
opinion.
I need you to talk about scope for a minute
Okay,
because you
Talk
talk
about
about
scope.
because you talk about scope.
scope's important.
What's the scope like on that game?
Fucking
You're on a
baller.
32 times zoom. What are we at?
It's baller.
It is baller. It's a
Baller
cool
scope.
game.
So baller.
Finish that game though.
No,
Do you have
seriously,
it?
there's nothing
yeah, we
wrong.
own it.
There's-
Okay.
Yeah.
Finish
Which
that.
version
It was
though?
good.
You run the only HD version?
No.
You
It's
should play the
original.
HD version.
Okay.
It's just that it's the exact same game. It's just way sharper looking. That's the one to play.
You have it on PlayStation 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
good.
the fine version too. It's just
That's the one I
Yeah.
played and beat. I
me
rebought it
too.
on PlayStation 3, but I haven't gone back and
Ah, it's so
replayed
good.
it since
I'll
then.
do the HD one. I mean, May as well.
It looks
Yeah,
nice.
that's what I mean.
exists.
That's what I mean. You might as well pay the best version if it's available, and it's cheap.
Especially because it's a visually stunning game too.
Oh,
like
man.
you want the.
You will
cheap
forget. You will
I think
absolutely.
it's on sale right now.
Well, it was free on PlayStation Plus for a while. I'm not sure if it still is. You might want to check.
Damn.
No, not anymore.
But so is Eco. But you will forget that you were playing a PlayStation 2 game because that game is gorgeous.
Fuck, man.
That's
The
awesome.
animations and just it does some shit technologically that shouldn't be able to be done on PS2.
It's like Last of Us, where you think you're playing an extra. You forget
Kinda.
what trash the rest of the generation looks
Yeah.
like as you're playing the epitome of that system's.
It doesn't load.
Capabilities.
It doesn't fucking. I mean, in the world,
It doesn't load
it's crazy.
ever.
Yeah,
you
you
can
just
never play the
watch
game.
If it, there's never a time where it says not when you're in the world where it says now loading. It just you can travel from fucking miles, and it won't ever
It's
say.
so smooth.
but it takes you
Now
5
loading.
minutes to boot the game up. So.
I mean, obviously there's
That's
loading.
worth
It's
it.
just
Worth
it.
it hides the loading.
Does it give you a handy and make you a sandwich?
Yeah.
That's
It
an
does.
Yeah, that's a
amazing
cheap
game.
date right there.
Yeah.
I was thinking like lobster and scallops dinner and
Sandwich
and
is cool.
Taking me to what is it, the terminal?
It does
In movie
mentally.
theaters.
Gives you all kinds of mental handy J's
Handy J.
Giving out handy
on the
J's
back of the bus.
and the back of the Burger King parking lot.
Christine, yeah, she was there.
Yeah, the horny horny.
Yeah, the horny
That was
Mormon
yes.
Horny Mormon, yeah.
That was Mike's episode.
dishing out handies.
Dishing
All right.
out handies on the
Right.
bus.
And is for everyone.
You're
You're number
number 31.
My number one, I think sometimes this list, maybe there's probably things that I think are better, and I just can't think of them on the fly because I pretty much posted the topic today. But
Maybe. Probably.
Resident Evil 4, you didn't have a caution bar like you did in all the other Resident Evils. It was like, look out, you're in danger, you should use some herbs. You had a health bar, it had pips and everything. And you go around through that game like, I've taken damage, I got 2.5 pips taken off my health.
Like Fallout pips?
Sure.
Okay.
They're little blocks. They drain. It's a health bar, but they're segmented.
Rio, no.
Like Mario 64. Pie pieces.
Kind of, but you can lose portions of pie piece.
Oh.
It's just the pips are there to give you an idea of how much unit of health is there.
Right.
You can use halves, whatever. However, Resident Evil 4, you encounter the motherfucker with a chainsaw.
Oh.
And you're like, oh goodness, a chainsaw. I better watch out for that. But
Crazy
if that guy
man.
hits you with a chainsaw, you are not prepared. He does not do damage. He ends your life in an instant by taking off Leon's fucking head. And you're like, what? You died. Well, duh!
It's super gory.
Super gory.
And sometimes it catches you when you least suspect it, because that motherfucker is stealth sometimes.
Yeah.
Too. Well, you'll turn
I hear him
around.
somewhere around here.
But he is because
chainsaw.
you'll be running because the Resident Evil doesn't have the best looking, the best moving character movement, right? So you'll be Leon, you'll be running, and you'll hit a wall, and you'll turn around. That motherfucker will be right there, and he'll saw the shit out of you.
A stealth chainsaw is the best thing I've ever heard.
And the
Is that a chainsaw?
You hear
Those
it.
are so scary.
I can hear
You
it.
hear it, but he still sneaks up on you because you think that he's not right fucking behind you.
What's that one
In
mission or
Mercenaries?
whatever? Mercenaries, yeah, where you go to the top of
Yeah,
that
the
tower
first
and
stage-
he
the fourth
jumps
stage.
up to the top.
Yeah.
The
They
double
made
From the
chainsaw.
ground.
They made a
Yes.
special chainsaw guy who is
Yeah.
constantly swinging a double-bladed flame-throwing
Yeah.
chainsaw.
And he's got his head covered.
And
Yeah.
if you
Shark jumped.
there are big ladders and platforms you can climb up, which usually if you climb up that, the zombies have to climb up of it. You can kick them off or shoot them, or you can jump back down and they'll get stuck on the ladder. I just gotta climb down after this asshole, but that dude doesn't give a fuck, and he just man mode leaps his way up the whole tower.
Leaps
and
like
is
the
ready
man
to
of
chop
steel.
3
you.
or 4 stories high, and he's just like, "Hey, dude,
Boop.
how's it going? I'm here. Let's hang out. Let's dance."
This is the one that I always lamented not playing because 4 looked
What?
really cool.
You
I
didn't
played
play
1 and
it?
2.
Four's on sale on Steam.
And it looked,
You-
I know, and it looked really cool.
It
the whole
is
system
really
of
cool.
aiming
It's
and
so
stuff in
good.
front of you, and the
Yeah.
Russian hillbillies or whatever they are,
They are Spantalians.
Spantalians.
Yeah.
They're a fictional.
They're Spanish-Italian
They're
people
either
from Boslavia.
Like Ukrainian gypsy folk from out there, but they're very overalled. I didn't know what to think.
That's why I said
so
16th century Russian
It's,
village.
yeah, they have
yokels,
pitchforks
pretty
and
much.
torches and shit.
They're nipples.
Yokels.
Yokels. I heard nipples or pit bulls.
One or the other. They're pit bulls.
So they're
Pit bulls,
very
that makes
similar.
sense.
Two
Pitbull,
things I want to say
areola.
about that. One, once you get chopped by one of those chainsaw guys, they were already scary, but they become the scariest motherfuckers in the game. You encounter a new one, you're like, no, 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 no! And whatever you have,
Fire off
magnum
all
ammo,
your
grenades,
bullets.
whatever, you throw it at them to make them go away, and then you continue. Unless you're Hunk.
With no more.
Hunk will just put a bullet anywhere in their face and
This
then break the
Hunk's
neck.
gangster.
Hunk is hella
Gangster.
gangster. The other thing right now,
Hard
the Steam
R.
sales, Resident Evil 4 is on sale for like 40% off or something.
It's like $10 right now.
Hell of other
Pretty
Resident
good.
Evil games are also on sale for more than that, and they're not telling you. That's
Yeah.
why I got Revelations. It's like 75% off. And I'm like, why isn't that on the list?
Well, it doesn't make the front page, but that's the good thing about if you see a game on the front page, usually the whole franchise, because like Bioshock Infinite was on
Right.
sale, but all Bioshocks
Yeah.
were on sale.
But the triple pack it's normally $60 and it was 10, I think.
Yeah, for like all 3 Bioshocks.
Infinite too. Like
bought the,
1, 2, and 3 were $10.
I was
That's
gonna buy
stupid.
Burial at Sea episode 1 and 2 because they were half off.
$10 for
they were $7.50. Yeah, but then the fucking season pass was $10.
Yeah,
I bought
well,
a season pass.
Yeah.
I didn't because my computer can't run that, and I'm so sad because it would have been really good for this sale, but I didn't get Far Cry 3, I didn't get Bioshock.
There's so
my-
many good. You should just buy them and then
Wait.
Yeah.
I was-
Anyway.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, real quick, I was not ready for the scope of Far Cry 3. I played it for like 15 minutes and was like, I don't want to deal with all of this. And then I uninstalled it because it was like,
That's funny.
this game spooked. I went into a cave, there was nothing in it, but exploring the cave was terrifying because I knew there's something could be in it. And like, there's like hippos and bullshit. Like
There's sharks.
everything's scary in that game.
I
And
heard
I'm like,
that was a big
cool,
game.
but I want to wander around like Skyrim 1.5 or
I'm
whatever. I don't want to do that right now. I'll
I'm
do it
currently
later.
playing that game, actually. It's funny because, like,
Far Cry
so
3?
yeah, because I bought Watch Dogs. If you remember, had a big fiasco trying to get that shit to work.
Yeah.
We remember from the last 2 podcasts.
It's working now because they actually released a patch which did fix my issue. But
Lovely.
because I couldn't play that, I was kind of in the mood to play something along the same lines. So I started playing Far Cry 3, and it really surprised me because I didn't expect like a Skyrim-esque game, and it kind of is a Skyrim-esque game. So
I fucking hate what your character looks like in that game. I was ready to play that game, then I looked at the logs and saw what I looked like. I'm like, I look like a fucking
he's some
fool.
douchey white guy. Yeah.
Fuck this guy.
He
I'm gonna
is.
get some tatau and like bulk up and beat my girlfriend or something. Fuck this. I don't want. I want no tribal tats. I don't want to hang out
You
with
built him
tataus.
a backstory.
He hella gets tribal tats too. That's how you
Yeah,
upgrade.
hell of tribal tatau.
When you
That's what
get
they keep calling it tatau.
when you get new skills, you get new tattoos that magically appear on your arm. That's your.
So Far Cry 3?
Yeah,
That's how cool you are.
it's dumb.
Yeah.
It's a dumb, but the mechanic is just upgrading. Justin is giving a face of great displeasure.
Dubious and, yeah. Brow
Anyway.
furrowed. I don't like that.
Furrowed brow.
It's a very realistic game, except for when you get magic tattoos.
Not real.
Like,
I never said it was realistic.
that game is fairly realistic.
You can.
You have to go
Straight-
steal your weapons. They don't even give you a pre-done loadout when you've been stranded on an island. It's fairly
You can
realistic.
straight wrestle fucking sharks in that game.
You could wrestle sharks in life, but you can't get a magical tattoo out of nowhere.
That's true. That's true.
Well,
I'm just
Maybe
saying.
it's just a temporary tattoo.
no,
maybe.
it like singes on his arm. It like appears because
So
you
he was
select
branded.
Chris is putting that room
magically.
in bed. No,
It's magic.
could
Wow.
not be magic.
You know, Chris,
Yeah.
licked his finger and
Yeah.
rubbed it over the...
Before we get
Yeah.
totally
not
off the
temporary.
topic, does anyone have
Too
any
late.
honorable mentions or like runner-ups for their favorite deaths?
Yes.
I've got
I have
an
two.
honorable mention also.
Well, if we have them, let's just keep going clockwise.
Okay, so the two that I have are some of the deaths from Final Fantasy VI, like Simon's family,
Yeah, that was pretty sad.
and General
Yeah.
Leo. That was pretty sad
Yeah.
too, because you find out that he's really actually like a pretty nice guy.
He was
Leo's,
cool, yeah.
Leo's the shit.
That guy was solid.
He's awesome.
And you think he's not, which
I know,
leads
exactly.
it to
Yeah.
He's a
like
good guy.
when he goes, you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
like you just got
I just
cool.
realized
Like,
that he
yeah.
he got fucked. But the other one I was gonna say was Joseph from the original Resident Evil, like the one that dies right at the
Oh.
beginning.
not Mary's
The
Joseph.
dude in the woods?
No.
Or-
Okay.
Yeah, dude in the woods.
He's just like, wow!
Exactly. Yeah.
Dogs!
It's comical and it's stupid.
It sounds cool. Blah! And then you're dead.
And then
I'm
all
sorry.
of the
Resident.
really all of the deaths in Resident Evil. Like who was that guy that got? I think he got bit by the snake, and then she like
Oh, and you go and get the cure for him and come back and he doesn't.
yeah. Jill's like, what happened? Who did this? And he's like, Umbra. Oh hell! And then he like passes out or whatever,
I
and
don't
it's just like.
remember his name.
I don't know. I think he was Hispanic.
I remember Forrest, the sniper up on the perch, who I guess got pecked by crows or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
find the like that game loved the difficulty curve. Like Chris, he's a zombie and tries to kill you. Jill, you got a grenade launcher. Like, oh, okay.
It's like yay.
Neat.
So those are my two honorable mentions.
That's good.
Creed.
My honorable mention is Zero dying in Mega Man X1.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid,
Didn't play X1.
After after X1, Zero dies fucking all the time, so the impact is lessened. But in the first game, Zero sacrifices himself to save X, and it's really it was a deep moment for especially for a Mega Man game. The first X game really established itself as a much deeper game on a storyline level than Mega Man, or than the original Mega Man series. And that scene was like, for me as a kid, I was like, how old was I? I was like fucking 9 when that game came out, and it was super impactful on me. I was like, oh, because Zero's hella cool. Zero is like what Mega Man wants to be. And you,
or
as
what
a
you
player,
want Mega Man to be.
that is at that point with Mega Man, and you as a player want to be. You're like, holy shit!
Like, why can't I have a sweet beam sword? And then you do eventually.
He kills Zero. He kills Vile in like one hit in the very beginning. Not kills him, but incapacitates him in one hit, and then X doesn't have shit, and then
You're like, man, I still gotta play this whole game. Not being
aspires
cool.
to become Zero, then Zero actually dies, and you get his weapon at that point if you hadn't already gotten that armor piece. But the music that's playing right after, and I don't know, it was presented really well. I really like that. I really like that death.
It's got to be a good one.
It was a good one.
Is that your only one?
That was my honorable mention.
Oh, okay.
Well, because I did 2 last time. I didn't want to keep. I'm good.
I have technically 2.
Let's hear him.
Lavitz
for sure.
from Dragoon.
Yeah,
That's
Legend
what I
of
was
Dragoon.
thinking earlier, and I'm like, wait, I don't want to say in case it's somebody's.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was an
yeah.
honorable mention, but it was sad because you're like you come to like him, not love him, but you come to like him in such a short amount of time. Then gone.
Yeah.
He's got some shitty replacement that you eventually end up loving.
I was
He's
gonna
replaced
say-
by like an identical copy
Yes.
who just happened to train perfectly the same way.
Because he's his king from the same
I
kingdom
knew.
who
Yeah, but Lavitz
is very spearish.
You really learn. I didn't like him at first because I didn't like the way he looks. But like
Lavitz,
Yeah.
Clunky
Yeah.
and like
That Lavitz
well,
looks
because compared to like
blocky and
Dart
soldiery
and
and-
Sean, like he's Dart's all like sleek and
Clean
like
cut
cool
and-
looking, and then Lavitz
Rose is
yeah.
edgy as fuck. And
Yeah, Rose is cool looking. But anyway, yeah, you grow to like him because you spend a lot of time fucking battling in that game, and you learn his combos and his timing, and then he fucking offs.
his combos are so much slower too than
Yeah.
Albert's. Like it's the same combo. You get the same
I know.
You go up so apparently like magically he gets this tattoo on his arm. No, magically he knows all of the guy who dies. His the replacement knows all of his combos up to the level that you learned them. Like he's like, oh, I had done Gust of Wind Dance 46 times, and then so has Albert. Like,
Yeah.
but
convenient.
yeah, but it was like when you get to it, Lavitz like sticks a spear in the ground, spins around, like pulls it up, and gives you time to do the stuff. Albert's like click, 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 go. Like it's twice as fast on the animation, which was
Surprisingly hard to
frustrating. And yes,
be
he was a better
Nobleman.
spearman because he didn't die.
Yes.
Anyways, there was that. And then this isn't extra meaningful, but Lydia from Skyrim, she doesn't have a stock death, but when she dies, you have to reassess some
You have to
shit.
find
Like if that's
someone else to
permadeath,
carry your stuff.
and you can get married to her.
About this before.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. So that's a weird death.
There are certain characters that would their corpses would stay in Skyrim. I don't remember her name, but there was a girl that died in the in that like house that you would go to all the time to. I can't remember the fucking names in that game.
Your house?
No, not your house, but it was like the group of people you join. I don't think you have to join them. But
Oh, the werewolf people.
not the werewolf. Yeah, the werewolf people.
The fighting. What are they called? They call themselves like
It's
the
the werewolf.
league or the
Something like that. The werewolf people.
The
but like there was a
clan
girl that
Watchers
follows
or some
you,
bullshit.
and then
Oh,
she
what
ends
is it
up
called?
dying, and then her corpse was in like that hall. But it was in that hall forever, and so I would just
Did you keep going back? Oh, because you have
You
to
have to-
visit the hall for.
for quests, but also that's where I
Right.
stored all my stuff.
Oh.
And that was the dresser I chose to store all my stuff in.
Right next to her rotting corpse.
Well, the funny thing
Her
about her
wiry
corpse
remains.
is that since it was there the whole time, I would just like pick it up and then because the game has ragdoll physics, so you like shake it around,
You're
and then like
so
people are like looking at you and like talking down to you, but then you can like throw the corpse
Yeah.
just like on the fire,
Yeah.
and it doesn't burn; it just stays there on the fire roasting forever. But it'll stay there.
You got
So
real
go out-
problems, man.
It's just funny because like you go out there, like,
I've
oh,
done
yeah.
worse.
Come back like
With
2
ragdolls.
weeks
Oh
later.
my gosh.
She's still hanging
You
out.
loot her body, you throw her like gear all over the place, and then throw her like half naked body on the fire.
You've done worse than desecrate her corpse and
You can't
just-
try to set it on fire?
It's
Maybe
just
she's
yeah.
not really human.
you got to test the limits of the
Like
system.
Fallout 3, If y'all played that, the part when you put your brain into like super like Pleasantville like 1950s thing.
That was a cool scene.
You have to become the pint-sized slasher of like old.
Yeah.
I was like taking people's body parts and like throwing them down. Like, I took a guy's head off that I cut and just like let it go down the slide on the playground. I was like cool. I'd like push bodies against cactuses and stuff.
Fallout 3 is such a good game.
It is. It was one of the games that I played the shit out
That was
of. Some I just beat. Some I don't spend a lot of time on and don't beat. I
Fallout 3 is
spent
such
a lot
good
of time
game.
on that game.
If I was gonna honorable mention, I've already mentioned in another cast the end of the first act of Doom when you die and go to hell and you're like, oh my.
Not that long ago either.
You're in a pit full of acid, surrounded by monsters in the dark. It's terrible.
Right.
When you kill a cacodemon in that game, they pretty much vomit out their entire body because they look like big spiky tomatoes, and the entirety of them just kind of pushes out through their face, and their eye pops out, and it's just like blah, 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 blah. That delights me. But on the subject of Elder Scrolls games, the random place in Morrowind when you encounter the guy who made scrolls for like pseudo flight where he can jump incredibly high.
Yeah.
It's just a wizard. You're walking down the road, he just comes flying out of the sky like and then splats. And you find these scrolls on him, and they give you an incredible unnatural boost to your acrobatics. You can jump like miles, but if you don't land in water or have like a levitation spell at the handy, you are gonna fall and die. And I used them. I would jump to the coast and then be like, sweet.
Wizards of the Coast.
Aha! You get eaten by slaughterfish.
Right.
Any others?
I think that brings us.
Do it.
That brings us round.
That was a long segment, but
That was a long
we
segment,
had a lot to
but a
say,
good
so
one.
that's
It
good.
was worth it. I'll have enjoyment out of that just now. Hopefully, listeners did too. I don't care.
Oh!
Let's move on to
said it
the
publicly.
next section, which is
Wait. What are your favorite deaths? Write in and tell us. Please.
Right after I said I don't care.
No, but I do.
Okay.
I do too.
Aaron
Okay.
cares about all you punks, so
Second.
write in for Aaron's sake, because he's cooler than I am.
And I'm really sad all the time, and that'll cheer me up.
He's a child in Shiner's Hospital.
It's
And
true. You should see his little face right now. Anyways,
poor fella.
all right.
write in for Aaron, and if you don't,
He'll die.
no.
He'll die.
If you don't, then we'll move on to
Trivia. Round 2.
I'm the second.
Round the second.
Decreed by you.
you, the listener.
Yeah.
You the everyone.
Decreed
This
by
is the
the
world.
voices.
It's
The
not.
royal
It's
The royal, yeah.
it's no one. It's God's trivia.
The accusative units. No one owns it.
No one owns
that's
trivia. It's
God's trivia.
We just bring it to you.
So good.
He's
You get
through
Chris
us.
gets 1 point for Super Troopers reference.
Super Troopers
Okay.
reference. Okay. This
good.
round will feature games from the late 80s, early 90s, 16-bit era.
Games and game
systems.
systems.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, never mind.
What?
Genesis.
Stop.
I didn't say my name. I'm safe.
You comment as Genesis.
Hold
Answer,
on.
Justin.
Yes.
What? Damn it, Justin.
I'd probably get more points doing that. Sorry.
What was the first 16-bit console to
Justin.
hit the U.S. market?
Sega Genesis.
That is correct!
Damn it! When you pointed up the yeah, I saw you point at the page. I'm like, I should just call in the moment you start talking and say Genesis, because I know.
This one's actually Genesis.
Point.
I wanted to at least hear the question.
Bonus
first.
question.
Number 1.
Oh, snaps.
What year was that? It's a bonus question, so you can't lose points. but
Yeah,
you
and I
can
can't
guess.
Irene, Sega Genesis.
Irene,
Damn it. No.
Genesis. Ice Taco.
Fuck.
2005.
Wait.
Nah. 87.
Think about it. 87?
87.
Is that your final answer?
That is incorrect.
5.
Aaron, you want to venture a guess?
89?
That is correct.
Nice.
Damn it.
That was a bonus question.
That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say in
I
the
was-
beginning for the record.
Far closer than I have been the entire
That's
rest of the
true.
game to
1995.
win that release.
Okay.
So I feel like after that question and the bonus, getting as close, like in a 2-year bracket, that's my
You're
victory.
close enough.
Like, yeah,
That's
it's
when they started working on it.
Aaron will
That's
likely win, but I
87.
can't. I don't feel so bad about life.
Question number 2. Name this system. Released in 1990 It was marketed as a 24-bit console, although that proved to be untrue. Known for being very expensive and having two variations, most commonly referred to as the MVS or the AES. Name that system. 1990, 24-bit console. Very expensive. Two variations of it. Aaron. Tap. Justin.
Nice.
Forced to answer. What shall it be?
1990.
This is a tougher one.
Yeah.
But...
Which is why I'm not going to try.
1990. I'm trying to think of anything else that came out.
Stronger because it's 24-bit than the other 16-bit systems.
Is that supposed to help?
4, 3, 2.
I can't say Genesis anymore.
You'll just be wrong.
Fuck, I've got nothing.
Point for guessing Genesis again. No,
Yeah.
It's... You want to guess, Irene?
1990.
I know.
24-bit.
This
Really
came out in 90, correct?
expensive.
Yeah.
The only expensive thing I can think of is Neo Geo.
That is correct.
Wow.
Whoa!
Yay,
Wait, it was
yay.
24
There were
bit?
so many clues in
Good
that.
answer. Good answer.
Dude, that was so many. So, yeah, it was 24-bit because technically it was a 16-bit system, and it had an 8-bit coprocessor, so they combined it and said it was 24-bit.
Oh wait, did you get a guess?
Hmm.
Okay, because you get a tap, so you get a free guess. Yeah.
Whatever.
We'll carry that over to another question.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to free guess later.
Yeah.
At the beginning of this next question,
It was extremely expensive, and it had two versions because it was the arcade version, which was the MVS multi-video system. That was the one where you ever been seen a Neo Geo system in the arcade where you can select game. It was like 5 games.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the
Magic
MVS.
Garden.
The one at home.
Metal Slug, Summer Showdown.
Yep. King of Fighters
King
94,
of Fighters,
Magician Lord,
I don't
1975.
remember the fourth one.
No, they could switch them out. That was that was the beauty of it. As an arcade owner, you buy that one system,
Yeah.
then you can swap out the games whenever
You
you
just
want.
had like a little panel back there, and you put
Pull
a
if you
different
pulled
one
up,
in.
if you open up the arcades, the arcade cabinet,
That's
and
pretty
there's like a
cool.
little console in there with fucking cartridge slots, like 6 different slots you can put cartridges into.
That's ahead of its time, I want to say. That's
It
cool.
was pretty ahead of its time. The home console was called the AES, that was just Advanced Entertainment System, and it was the same hardware almost, except you could only put one cartridge in, and but it used the same cartridge, but it was super
cartridges
expensive.
were hella expensive too.
Yeah, because
they still are.
The problem with it is that it was designed to be an arcade thing first and a home console second, so the home console version was the same fucking cost as the arcade one. So as an arcade owner, it made sense. As a home user, it didn't make any
Not at
fucking
all.
sense. So games were hundreds of dollars.
But it was still like the
but those
coolest
games-
concept. Like you can play at home, and then you could take it to the arcade.
But because they were at that point,
Whoa.
You want to open up the back of the machine, Mac? I got a cartridge for this thing.
I want to play some Metal Slug, Mac.
At that point in video games, arcade perfect ports were very important to home consumers. Like everybody wanted the arcade experience at home, and with the Neo Geo, you really did get the arcade experience at home.
Exactly. Almost the exact same experience.
Question number 3. Name the first CD-based console released in America.
wow.
Hint. You want to guess first?
No,
You'll probably get a bonus.
wait
I
for-
mean, without
Well, I
hearing the
don't
full
know.
question,
It's up to
you
you.
might get a bonus point. Who knows? You might get it wrong, though.
I'll probably get it wrong.
You want the rest of the
Let's
question?
get the hint.
Name the first CD-based console released in America, known for being the home of the worst games in this very notable franchise.
Yeah, I know the answer to this.
Because if I say the name of the franchise, you will get it.
Yep.
Aaron reluctantly
Is
buzzes
Is
in.
it the Sega CD?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of what else around there, because...
Known for being the home of
Oh!
the worst games
Well, oh god, now, yeah.
Don't
in
say
a
it.
very
I know.
notable franchise.
5.
No.
I know now.
Kill it.
Second guess, Aaron?
The CDI?
Yes,
Wand of
the
Gamelon.
CDI.
Fucking Zelda.
So
The
happy I didn't say
CDI
anything.
had the CDI.
Kill me.
The CDI has 2 Legend of Zelda games.
Is that the one with the rope, lamp oil, bombs? It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rupees.
I can't wait to bomb some dongos.
That was on a CDI?
Philips CDI?
Philips.
Yep.
I see.
First CD-based home console released. It was in 1991 for that motherfucker.
I was thinking Sega CD. I'm like, that wasn't that bad.
No.
The Sonic
Oh,
CD
right.
wasn't that bad.
That's the first
Right.
CD-based cartridge
The
or
first
console
solely
to
CD
come
based.
to US.
Yes, because their 3DO is 93.
Mm-hmm.
The Sega CD was like 93. But that was the first like home console that strictly used CDs. Philips CDI. Question number 4.
Happy I didn't guess because I would not have
I
gotten
had a
it.
CDI. I still have the Zelda. I still have Faces of Evil over there just for fun. Cool. It's awful.
You and your
really bad.
fucking systems. You're the most random assortment. Is that your CDI?
No, that's a Genesis original.
should just get a
You kept
picture.
answering
yeah.
Genesis.
That's a Genesis original with the power base converter on it. That's the power base converter lets you play Master System games on a Genesis.
It looks
That's
like
cool.
a what's that called? In the studio, like a switch, like a board.
Oh, yeah, it has a
technicians and
volume.
stuff. It's got-
It has a volume control on it because it has a headphone port.
It does. It's got a little
saw
box
that.
down there. That's cool.
Yeah.
I remember that, and I was like, this doesn't adjust the volume at all, but I never plugged it in. Put a picture of just like this on
Put little
the
headphones
MultiTap
on
thing.
it.
Just be like, by the way, this is what we keep referencing. You won't see us look away,
The
but
bookshelves.
Chris has a lot of stuff. It's
Hear our
cool.
voices all directed that way.
Question number 4. I do decree it.
Nice.
Hashtag I do decree it.
Hashtag Chris decrees it.
I
Accreditation.
started that, by the way.
The Super
decree it?
NES.
Did
the
you really?
Super Nintendo
Entertainment system.
was released at what price?
Fuck me.
Multiple choice. $199, $249, $299, $349.
Justin.
Justin.
Tap.
It's the one I want to say, but that was the cost of the N64. They made a big deal about.
Right.
I don't know what this stuff is, so I'm gonna just $249.
That is incorrect.
I think I know.
I get a free guess?
Yeah,
Will you run
That's
them
the
over one more
tap.
time?
This time you get a free guess. I didn't.
that's true.
Right, it's okay.
You want to get a second?
You want a
guess?
second
you know,
guess?
yeah.
Second guess on this one?
Yeah.
No, what were the other three I didn't do?
Multiple choice.
$199,
A.
$299, $349. Super Nintendo,
Mm.
1991.
I keep wanting to go back to the $199, but
Give it a shot. I'm just.
but then I'm like, I should buy $300 for a console. I didn't buy consoles as a child. I didn't have any. I got them way late. $199.
$199 is correct.
Oh.
Yay!
You gotta give
Well,
up.
good
Thank you
answer.
for trusting
Were you gonna say
me.
$199, Justin?
Yes.
Reluctantly.
Because
$199.
That's what I went to first, but I'm like, that's what the 64 cost. But then inflation and shit.
I was
Yeah.
gonna
that was
say
a
it's
bargain.
19.
Yeah.
Like,
Question number 5.
$199.99.
Bones. Question number 5. We're sticking with the Super Nintendo on this one.
He does decree it.
I do decree it. Now, the Super Nintendo was launched with 5 games. Name 3 of those games. 3 Super Nintendo launch games.
if you get one wrong along the way, do you just lose?
The whole thing. You lose the whole. No,
The whole
It's up to the
burrito.
You have to
scorekeeper.
leave immediately.
It's up to the scorekeeper on that one, buddy.
I know 2 of them for sure.
I feel like I know one.
I have like one and a hunch.
Let's
so-
see who gets more right. How about that,
So,
So someone say their
Justin?
name.
Aaron.
Name the one. Aaron, name the ones you know.
Super Mario World?
1,
That's my one.
That's 0?
2.
Whoa! Ah!
Ah, blah.
That launched?
I don't think Zelda was launched.
No.
We'll give you 5 guesses.
Okay. So
That's,
that's 3 of them.
yep.
And I need to get one more in my next 2 guesses.
Yep.
P.S.
2 of them. One of them's real easy. You gotta get it.
Do I got it?
Gotta.
You gotta.
I'm bad.
You
have to. I'm
Easy,
sorry.
early, Super Nintendo. Gammon.
I know. Now everything's out the window as soon as Mario World came into my head, and now there's nothing else for the SNES.
There's nothing else.
No,
Okay.
they made no other games.
No, that was late.
It's supposed to be really easy.
One of
Is
them's
it
easy.
super obvious what it is?
It's not super obvious, but if you think about it, it's not. It's pretty obvious. Two of them. So you've named 2 out of the 5. 2 more, I think, are a little more harder to guess. One of them, I think you should get.
But I'm drawing a big dumb fat blank.
Well, consider other. Well, I don't want to give.
I'm trying to think of other intellectual properties.
Well, consider other launches.
Other launches? Like, because that was just another Mario. But that isn't Mario. So there. Tetris?
No, you're close with that.
You have one more guess, I think.
One more.
Yeah, because
I,
you only
I
did
get
4.
one more guess.
But you have 5 seconds.
Oh.
5,
Blurt it out.
4.
Halo 1.
My brain is just stuck
Sega
on one thing I
Genesis.
know that's
Ninja
wrong.
Gaiden.
What?
Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy
is
Advance,
not-
I'm in the game.
it's not a
Super
game.
Game Boy is what I'm... Oh, what about Mario Paint?
Mario Paint is not a launch
Okay,
title.
well, fuck it.
Game Boy Advance is also not a launch title.
Yeah, no, that's not
Justin,
on.
however, I like that answer.
Ninja Gaiden?
No, Game Boy Advance as a launch game
Ninja-
for Super
It is.
Nintendo.
Game Boy Advance. No. You sure?
Are you sure?
Double check that.
Like,
That was
Show me where it's not.
Ninja Gaiden for the PS2.
Ninja Gaiden was on Super Nintendo.
It wasn't on PS2.
Yeah, Ninja Gaiden Trilogy.
All right.
Ninja Gaiden Trilogy.
Ninja Gaiden, yeah.
One of the
Fucking
rarest
Gaidens
Super
are
Nintendo.
hard.
That's one of the most valuable Super Nintendo games.
wow.
Justin, any ventures of guessing?
Nothing that I know is... the ones that I have, I know are incorrect.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah,
Adventures
just
of
throw 'em out.
guessing.
I've got Super Mario RPG. No. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. No.
I guess that one.
You did.
Yeah. Mario RPG was late. That was like 96.
It was. So it was like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, Lufia.
Mystic Quest was close to launch, actually.
Was it really?
Yeah. It's like 91, 92.
It's into the launch. So it was like a year or 2 in.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
We're
like
talking-
anywhere close to
That
like
wasn't
a
launch day,
window.
though.
Yeah. So the ones that I have are I know are not anywhere near launch.
You just said 4, you get one more.
Yep.
If you can get any of them.
Fuck, man.
So you have 2?
Yeah.
And then you have 0?
Yeah. Well, I had the Mario.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I,
Oh, okay.
one.
Other than
Well,
that, I
okay,
didn't
we'll
know.
give you 1. 5, 4, 3,
Clay Fighter.
2.
Clay Fighter.
I got nothing.
So, F-Zero. You want to guess, Irene, actually, for funsies?
No, because I was getting confused with bundled with the system.
So, the reason I said think about other launches is because on the next Nintendo System's launch, there was, 2 games? There's only
Pilot
the-
Wings.
Pilot Wings.
Pilot Wings.
And Mario 64.
It's the only thing is Mario 64.
Pilot
but, like,
Wings was the easy
That's
one.
it. But then you're
Yeah.
like, do it. I'm like,
I
Because
forgot about
the
Pilot.
64 launched with fucking 2 games, and one of them was Pilot Wings. That's why I tried to give you a hint by
Yeah.
think about the other Nintendo launch. Pilot
I
Wings.
feel stupid because I played that at my friend Justin Stofel's house.
Pilot Wings.
Like right at
Pilot Wings was
Wave
the one I
Race.
was the one I was saying was easy.
Wave Race.
I wish it was a Super Nintendo Wave Race. It was a Game Boy Wave Race.
Great.
So
I like the Super
F-Zero.
Nintendo better than the
when you
Nintendo
said
64
launch,
one.
I'm sorry. When you said launch games, I know this wasn't a launch game, but when I got a 64 for the first time,
Uh-huh.
my parents just rented a couple games, and one of them was Star Wars Pod Racing,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "There's no way that was on Super Nintendo.
no.
There's no way it was Super Return of the Jedi either. Stop thinking of Star Wars."
Got like
Shadows of the
Lion King.
Empire was close to launch at 64.
None of those
Disney
are. Yeah.
games
Okay, but sorry. What are the
in
5?
general.
There's F-Zero,
Sure.
Mario World Pilot Wings, Gradius 3.
Wow.
That one I remember, and SimCity.
Oh.
Sim City.
Yeah.
Launched Super
Those are
Nintendo game.
weird.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's why I said 2 of them probably wouldn't be easy, but Pilot Wings.
Guess
is
what,
one.
guys? Buy our system and these broke ass games.
Mario World sold that system anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
F-Zero too, and Pilot Wings. They both had that Mode 7 shit.
Oh
That's the end of round 2.
man, F-Zero.
Did you award any points for that part? Like partials for the?
You're gonna
Well,
find
you
out. At the,
said,
what?
you said that you were going to move on to the next segment.
Good evening, everyone, every listener. This is Piper from MultiTap Podcast Theater Podcast. Theater. We, as a podcast, have decided to cut this week's episode short, slightly short, halfway short, due to just sheer length. It was a massive episode. We didn't want to subject anybody to listening to 4 hours of podcast. So I flipped some stuff out, and now you're going to have 2 roughly hour 45-minute episodes. So thanks for sticking with us this far, and hold on for part 2, because it will end the glorious rounds of trivia and then our main event, which is also pretty good. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next week. Chocolate Starfish.